Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, you know how, I'm not feeling it.
Sharif, like, I mean, at the end of the day, GM is one of the only names that has been performing over time. I look at some of these legacy manufacturers, what I was getting at is some of the retail names, man. It's such a tough space and a lower margin business that I just don't like. Stellantis. Ford, maybe somewhat of an exception
thing,
because of the energy
I know you like that.
right?
Yeah.
Like, and even Tesla, people are throwing the EV side of things to the curb, and we're like, hey, man, we're just autonomous vehicles, cybercab, higher margin, and robotics. Like, it's like we're not even talking about the basic vehicles anymore, man. I think it's such a, and I think it's such a tough space to be involved in.
That's true. You know, it's like a really, bless you, Adara. It's a cool thing in India, like when you go into national parks, like wildlife photographers and everyone, there's cars dedicated that go inside, and they dibble and dabble between Maruti Suzuki cars and Jeep Wranglers too.
Makes sense.
Which makes sense, but for a rugged terrain like that, where the car can climb anywhere, so I think that's like a great advantage, and that's what I love in a car, honestly.
And there are obviously good cars in North America as well, where we have a lot of snow. I mean, I completely agree.
Toyota, the best vehicle out there.
How do you
Toyota, right?
Toyota?
Toyota.
It's Toyota?
Toyota.
Isn't it Toyota?
It's Toyota. Yeah, it's Toyota. Hyundai.
All right. All right.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's done. Show's over. Those guys are ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, they're always ready to rock and roll, bro. Katina Man stays ready, so Neil stays ready, so they don't have to get ready. All right, guys. It's been a hell of a show today. It's small cap season. You know, sadly, they didn't continue in the way that we saw them continue yesterday, but they were strong at the top of the show. But I hope for everybody who watches these small caps, it's sort of a lesson in context that they are around for a good time and not a long time. And that's how you always have to view them. It's not like something that you perhaps can DCA next day, and it's not a Tesla, it's not an NVIDIA, right?
Yeah, man.
And that's just the way that they are. Gotta treat them like that. Send them off, Joey.
You know, I hope everyone had a fantastic day. We talked about just having a little bit of powder, and these are the scenarios that you want to sit on some cash, especially have some big runs. If you've been on the right side of things within the AMDs, MUs, SanDisk's, and some like DRAM and some of these high flyers, the Marvells, hopefully you sold a little bit at the top to sit on some cash to buy your shares back at lower prices. That's the narrative. Learn from our mistakes and keep on keeping on.
Shout out to Joe Dirt.
We're back. I think you might be muted as we get back into. I love how they're like, oh, and the boys are ready. I'm like, I'm logging into the chat over here, which I'm going to very quickly just make sure I have that open for everybody. Did a little shopping over the break. Did you know IBM hit the 50 period on the
IBM, okay, yeah, that's a name. That's one of those names I recently bought, actually. It's all the way down again?
Yeah, it's right back into, I have like a new e-signal layout, which I don't know, whatever, I'm working on it, but it's a work in progress.
Oh, all the way back there.
All the way back into the 50 period on the daily, which should be spicy. Oh, there's my market depth over there. And I don't know why I had SoFi up. Let's forget about SoFi. I'm sure there's a really good reason why I had a chart up of SoFi, but we'll see. I just saw, like I was looking at this kind of a day, and I have some cash, and I wasn't trying to be all cash, but I had just gotten out of a somewhat decent sized position. I'm like, yeah, I want to get something in the market, I want to buy the SPYs. And I looked across, and what did I find at the 50? It ended up being IBM. I like the dividend. I already own it, is what it is, but only trade them in is BM&R. This time off VWAP, we'll try to do better. IBIT was good, but BM&R, frustrating. Basically had the top twice, and then got top ticked twice. So we'll try it again at this volume weighted average price. It's down 4%. Regardless of whatever happens to the market, we might be down 2%, but these are down, oh yeah, BM&R wasn't on the New York before. So let's not, whatever. It used to be on the Amex, so you're not seeing all the price history, but this has been trending down basically forever and ever, and nothing has changed. So as people try to take money out of other things, they're not exactly putting it into crypto, that's for sure.
No, no one should ever put their money into crypto if that's a good store of value. I do not think so, but welcome back, everybody. Yeah, we've been having a pretty successful midday, man. I mean, we came back from the gym, we sat down, we found a name that we liked, man, Google, and we bought it, and boom. I just said to Jesse, like, thanks for the, Deshaun thing, because today I'm having my best day of the month so far. It's pretty early. We'll see if we can do it, but here it is right here. Thank you, for that, Jesse. That was really funny. But yeah, we're getting locked and loaded right now. We are long on Google off that low. So that's all that we've been doing there. And I thought taking out a little bit there on Apple was a good trade, but yeah, it turned out to be a lot more left on the core there for Apple. And then the only name that I bought during lunchtime was, and I don't have that much cash at all. I might have 1% cash, something like that. I bought IREN down here and I actually got filled at 51.25 or something like that. So pretty much the low of the day there on IREN, just lucky. Because that's the same time, 12.50, right? That's where we sat back in. We put on the long on Google. I put on the long there on IREN. So, you know, that was down quite a bit. So we've now gotten 51 twice now on IREN. We'll see what's going on with that one. But yeah, man, it's 205, 206 right now. Thanks for that great midday show. You know, we'll see if we can execute on some trades over here. And it was good, man. Hey, what's up, Blicky Spears? And you know, that's what I'm here to talk like that. Like I'll tell, if I'm having a bad day, man, I'll tell you guys. If I'm flat on the day, I'll tell you guys. But today's just been a great day. The only loss we have actually today is Tesla, and that was off this. And I was really happy to where we got out, because sometimes I'll get pretty stubborn. We talked about that in the middle of the day here today. And I will keep, not averaging in, but I'll just keep on trying it. But today, man, I'm glad we did it. I mean, Tesla down to 383, wow. That name really got hit there. So, all right, we'll go back over to Neil here, and then we'll continue the good talk. We should have Brian Shannon on today. He did not message me, so hopefully he's coming on.
Did not is a good thing.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because normally he messages me and says he can't make it or whatever, but he's scheduled in there. So.
You know who can make it? Origenics can make it because they've got some updates, and that's OGN on the NYSE, as everybody here probably knows, and the company's activated its phase 2A clinical trial in Australia, with its first site fully operational and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury. That's an area where there's currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Origenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, and resolving liabilities. They've also restored exchange compliance. The focus shifts to execution with clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation. OGEN on the NYSE American, everybody. And
NYSE American.
Otherwise known as the Amex, as most of us like to call it.
Yeah.
Because that's what, I mean, that's what it's always been. A place where you don't typically see a lot of new names coming in. Everyone's going to be the Nasdaq or the New York. Speaking of which, looking back at, I mean, going into the, well, this is a Nasdaq stock going into the S&P 500, which is MRVL.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. It's got a Christmas tree. There, it just filled in there. Here, we'll go to this chart here for a second. Like, it just filled in. Like, look at the 300 to 250, maybe the 250 hold. This is the kind of name where if it does nothing this afternoon, which wouldn't be bad for this chart, if it just sits sideways holding 250, like, look at the gap back and forth, 250, 300, almost every single day. It's either resistance there, or when it gets down at that 250, 260, you get a bit of a bounce. So if we have a 2% down day and we hold down here, this is a name to kind of watch for a bit of a relief, potential, shouldn't say bit of potential relief rally over on Marvell. Also gonna have Intel on watch this afternoon. It didn't hold on to our dip levels. Tried it here, tried it there, flat trade there, then we lost in the morning on it, but it holds $100. This one, I'm thinking the other direction on Intel. As long as it's underneath that 107 level that I like, to me, you can flip resistance to support, back, forth, left, right, and center. So if this one gets up maybe another couple of dollars, I'll look for a bit of an afternoon fade. Market's getting close to the VWAP there on Intel, down 5 points. 5 points today. But really, 5 points on some of these stocks, or 10 points on Marvell, whatever we're just looking at, it's kind of a drop in the bucket when you look at where these stocks have come from. Nothing's really bled. That's why I lent to IBM. Like, look at some of the things that were the 50 period or where they were on the bids, and it's like, that's not even that far back. It's like, you're not really getting that much value. That's what stood out about IBM. Like, it was 25% off the highs, and at that 50 period.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is, too, we battled back a lot. We battled back half the day. We were down 4%. Now you're only down 2%, and there's Google right there. We're just ho-humming over here, $7. So that so far has been good on Google, and we talked about that. We put this in the chat. Join me in the midday show as well with these guys. These guys are killing it. I'm going to try to put in some trade ideas if I have any. And we got it twice there. We were actually waiting for a little bit more. And, you know, this is the thing. It's about risk to reward, right? You got to sometimes you got to try to feel the market a little bit there. We had sort of based out, again, this is the same time down there on the futures where we were looking like we were basing. And then Google gave me an out, which was nice, right? And so Google was only down 1% or so, maybe 2% at its lows. And we just had that whoosh moment, gave us that low, battled back. And then if we zoom in a little bit here, it gave us some of these levels. So I was just buying against here. So this is well, right now I'm long 358.20. That first one was 358.70. So, you know, average price 358.40. My stop right now is still in. Oh no, I changed it, now it's 362. But, you know, our stop was this level right here, 357.50. So, you know, for 70 cents worth of risk, we go 10 to 1 there back up to the upside. And, you know, it's a tough one, right? I mean, we talked about the different styles of trading. Not everyone's gonna be green today, not everyone's gonna be red today. I mean, when you see the market down 2%, you would think, oh my gosh, you know. But the number one net for me right here, although it was Apple previously, and that was a short, it's now Google on the long. So now this, you know, we were actually red after all of this happened, and then we just made the boat right here on the way back up to the upside there for Google. So we're able to actually make a little bit more money on the long. And I wanted to say also, we had a big trade alert in the back there from Adara. The number 2 trader today is Adara. She crushed Cerebras, it looks like, and Micron. So there we go, a couple different names there. But Adara, were they shorts or were they longs?
Well,
there?
You know me, I was short both.
Okay, there we
shorts,
go.
And yeah, Cerebras was actually just 1 trade. Micron was 2 scalps.
Beautiful. So I don't know where they were, but there's a nice VWAP take right there. And we are going to have Brian coming on very, very soon to talk about that. But look at this. VWAP, VWAP, VWAP again, VWAP again. So some decent trades. I'm actually surprised that this day is only down 4%. So another quick look on that one. And we're getting lighter and lighter. I mean, I don't want to be in this name for too long, but here we go, man. We're trying to break back down below VWAP here. Let's offer some 80s, see if we get it here on Google, and then move off of that. So, you know, hopefully everything's okay, Randy. We did see Rivian down 8% today. So that's another name. I know they were covering it. I know, I heard you guys there. All I should have done is when Randy said buy the dips, I should have shorted, and then this would be a lot less of a dent in my Rivian, and we could have made a lot of money going short there on Rivian. But yeah. So I still think 10 and change we could get to at some point. What was that? 15.75. Yeah. So Randy's looking at 14 and change, I think he was saying here. Yeah, into this area. Yeah, that's good. Right into this area, I think is what Randy's talking about here, 14.50 or so. Yeah, so we'll see. So he wants to look at that. And I always do think, I mean, today's that day, right? My invitation or reservation is out for the R2s. We won't hear about it because we're in Canada, but we're excited to figure out if we're going to be in a Rivian anytime soon. So, okay, this is something
I don't like this Rivian.
Oh, the R3? The stock. No, the stock sucks. Yeah,
I've already said I love the look of the vehicle. I think it looks fantastic.
There's no doubt.
I just mean like the chart. I was just talking about the chart.
Yeah. No, the chart is.
I love the car. It looks great. What?
Yeah.
First of all, Sharif, man. Like, if you even so much as compliment the look of a Rivian, this guy gives me like the biggest screw face. Like, hey. Yeah. He thinks it's hideous.
That's okay. Sharif takes taxis around, so we'll wait to see what he wants to do there.
Taxi. The medallion.
That's crazy, eh? All right. No, he had, I forget what he had there. He had not a Porsche. He had a Jaguar F-Pace he had. So he has, good taste. But here we go. What's up, El Cholsky? Can we have Sean's trades during the midday show? I mean, all you have to do is watch the midday show, and I'll be trying to post it into that, and we'll go back and forth with all of it. So, let me know if you guys need anything like that during the midday. If I'm sitting here, I have no problem giving you guys the goods. I think Neil and I have pretty much traded the same amount of trades today. Not trades today, stocks. I've only traded 4, and it includes Apple. Well, we can review the trades. I mean, here's Apple right here. That's a big one. Alibaba is completely flat. Like, we were long, lost it there. So it's kind of like, once you broke that 120 area, we were long at 120.50. So the most we got was like 75 cents, and then there we got like 30 cents or so, and then boom to the downside. So Alibaba's a nothing burger. And then Google, okay, we've already talked about that. And then Tesla, again, in and out of that one. So we'll basically, where, you know, Alibaba's gonna be flat, but we did look at it, so we'll call that like a tie goes to the runner, but this is an L. And the thing is today, man, like our Tesla loss is a fraction of the Apple and the Google win, so that makes for, you know, a better day for me, because sometimes it's, like I was saying, I'm really glad that I didn't get caught up in all of this move to the downside. Like I didn't just keep on buying Tesla, even though we did have it on here as a $410 long, and that's what we took. And then when we lost it, we got out. So I think that that's something that's pretty important for me to continue to do, right? Is to wait for those times and then boom, to the downside there. And that's part of what this market is, right? I mean, you're never gonna get it right.
That's all the market is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all the market is. Like if you're trying to be consistent, like I said, like for me, there was never a chance to be green when like I'm down on like this stock. Like I don't care, like well, let's go back to Tesla for a second. First of all, someone in the chat, I don't see any crazy wicks on Tesla, I was just looking at it, but like tried Tesla bounce, didn't go. It's fine, like, and this is the other thing too, is like this actually went in the money, 50, 60 pennies if you're trying to scalp it, but that's never me. Like I'm looking for the move into VWAP. If you're trying to take bucks because you're risking 50 cents, like that kind of a thing is gonna make sense. But then with Bitcoin, so with crypto, right? Like I know that this is where we want to be, and that's where most of the consistency has been. Like every single day, just sure to make money on crypto. And when it doesn't work, then you got to be able to live with it. But that's the way you have to try to look at it. Like if you're going to be down, if you're going to take a hit, just make sure it's on your own terms. That way, when you look back and you look at, this is early in the month. Like I guess we're only a few days in. When you look back at the month or look back at your quarter, you can say to yourself, hey, I managed to put the money in strategies that work, so that overall you're going to be up. Like the worst thing you could do is be a small cap trader, and then when the market's like this for small cappers, you're not even trading them, or you're not able to capitalize. You got to be where I guess the best opportunities lie. We do have a super chat here from Rushi. Okay, we'll go to Dara first, and then we'll come back and get to the super chat.
Hey guys, we'll try to be quick. It's what feels like our hourly update with Iran. Couple different headlines here. For one, Hezbollah reportedly saying, according to state TV, that, quote, we targeted the Israeli regime's naval base in Ras al-Nakura with drone attacks. We also have a post from an account attributed to a member of the Israeli government negotiating team. His name is Syed Abbas Ergachi, talking about foreign forces in proximity to their territory and constant risk on account of their own human errors, and basically saying the best way to reduce the risk for these people is to leave. So some very strong and cheekily worded posturing, I'll put it that way, coming here from a member of Iran's negotiating team. Back to you.
SpaceX IPO is finally approaching a reasonable number. We talked about that yesterday. It's now 4 times oversubscribed, but that's nothing. We talked about yesterday, or maybe it was yesterday when Joe was here. What's up, Jesse? That's still funny, man. I still really like that one. Shout out to you, man. Having a good time here. Shout out to Hyde Park. We had a great time last night. Practice tonight if it doesn't rain. I'll see you guys there. Thanks to my lovely wife, Marissa. I get home, she's at hockey with Gia, and sitting right there is chicken, not tilapia, rice, and some broccoli. That was fantastic. But what we tweeted out yesterday was this. You think that oversubscribed is a thing, right? This is a thing right here. SpaceX is only 2 times oversold. We just heard in our ear that it's now 4 times oversubscribed. But that's nothing. 4 times oversubscribed. Snowflake 120, DoorDash 40, Airbnb 40, Twitter 30, Dropbox 25, Alibaba 20, Facebook 20, Snapchat 10. So we're gonna start to, and as the number gets closer, it's only Tuesday, as we get closer and closer to SpaceX IPO date, which is gonna be this Friday, you know, you're gonna probably see a number in between these two, between 120 and 40, probably 50 times oversubscribed or something like that. So that means that there's 50 times more demand for shares than there's actually shares. So, you know, you're gonna have to be careful with what price that's gonna come out as and it was to my surprise that today, and he's probably not watching, but Gia's hockey coach, who is one of the best in the business, messaged me today about SpaceX. I've never talked to this dude 1 minute about stocks, you know, and he said that his kid, who's in university, basically called him frantically about SpaceX. And I said, that's exactly the reason why we're not buying and holding it right off the jump. I said, if you have play money, and this is what we talked about, right? If you have some play money and you want to throw $500 or something at it at the IPO, teach the kid a lesson, let him watch the stocks as it continues to go, then that's fine, right? Like my kids are invested in a couple different names.
It's a different story because they have
right?
so much time. Like
No, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like just to watch the stock and learn about it and have some fun and learn about investing, that's fine. But I told him, like, if you're talking about money you can't afford to lose or, you know, as an investment, I think that there's going to be a better time. But no better time right now, $8 on Google. But I think that you can wait a couple minutes to breathe on the SpaceX IPO. And I mean, we can call up Cerebras.
Well, minutes, I don't know what.
When I say minutes, I'm talking days. I told him the next couple months. I said I would message him when I'm getting long SpaceX, because I will be getting long SpaceX for sure. And I think that's a dollar cost average. Oh,
I'm doing the ARM
ARM
plan. Like the plan that I meant to implement on ARM that I didn't successfully, I've said over and over again, that's the plan on SpaceX. I just, like this time, if it dips down, I'll start DCing, which I didn't do. This is a great super chat. Everyone teaches how to DCA long-term on the way down, like buy around the 50 and the 200, but is there a way how can one keep taking, oh, I see, okay, how do you take profits on the way up?
That's the problem.
Well, you have to have your own approach. I can tell you how I kind of look at things. I'm more of like, in a long-term position, I will tend to only ever get out 10% at a time to usually a maximum of like 20 or 30%, like 2 or 3 times. Because the whole idea is that I'm holding it essentially forever. If it's in my like TFSA here, which is like a tax-free savings account, those tend to be things like SoFi, where I'll literally get out like a third and like actually get out of a lot of a position. But I'll give you the example of GE Vernova. Like look at the 50, look at the 200 period moving average. When it makes it back and crests at the high, usually it'll take 10% out at that particular point. And if it does something parabolic, like this move here, then I'm literally just telling you what I've done. Like it goes off to 50 or 200 here, it gets to like, it makes this crest off the high, then I might take 10% out there. Like that's pretty good, like it's about the 70, 80% move. And then when it does that same measured move up, like $250, when it does it again, I might take another 10% up. And I just try to buy that back in at the 200 or the 50, wherever I can. And it's the same thing on the way up. This particular case on GE Vernova, I find myself a little bit shy because I didn't actually, I don't know, I think I mentioned the other day that I wasn't liking how it was looking on GE Vernova. So I'm gonna look 200 period instead of the 50, and we'll try to do the dip buy again on this one in the long term. But some people will tell you don't take it out at all-time highs. But if I'm sitting at like buying off to 50 or 200 and it's 60% in the money, I'm taking 10% off. And then I'm looking to get that 10. And if it goes another measure move up, I take another 10% off. And then that gives me something to buy the dip with. And that's just my approach. Some people like Fibonacci's. I suppose they can be useful. Maybe you look at like an RSI. You just find something that works for you. We've heard lots of guests talk about Fibonacci's. Actually, Brian Shannon will look at some historical, like if it's got like historical measured moves, he'll look at that kind of a thing. Or if it's a stock on the come up from way, like Intel, like really long ago, you can look at some anchors as resistance, and you find your own way. But I'm never shy to take something out if it shows me a pullback off an all-time high, especially when you get too parabolic a move. Let's go back up to the screen with Adara.
Hi guys, time for today's segment of To the Chart Window, To the Wall, which is basically me showing you guys an infographic at the wall every afternoon, usually from 2 to 3:30ish. So definitely check this out every day in the afternoon show. This is obviously a couple days early because we don't have SpaceX until Friday, but given that I will unfortunately be away on Thursday and Friday, I wanted to cover this for you guys now. This infographic will also be available for your public viewing as of Friday morning. So I'm still gonna have posts, as I usually do, coming out even when I'm on vacation. Let's take a look though at this history of IPO performance. So what did I do here? What was the research thesis here? How did I approach this? So what I did was I took a look at, in my opinion, 6 of the biggest IPOs since I've started and since we really had the IPO resurgence from September 2023 all the way to late 2025. I didn't include Cerebras or Quantinuum on here because I thought they were a little bit too recent. We didn't have enough longer term data. So what I included here was ARM, Reddit, CoreWeave, Circle, Figma, and Bullish. There are 3 different pieces of information for each of these here. First is the opening price and how it compared to the IPO price. So did we open above the IPO price, in which case that bar will be up, or did we open below the IPO price, in which case that bar will be down? We only opened below the IPO price in the case of CoreWeave, so that's not a huge point here. Then you've got the debut session. How did we perform from the open to the close? So I'm not including the IPO price, including the opening price to the close of the session. And then what's the lifetime performance? How did we perform from this stock's birth, it's being brought into the world, until the close yesterday? Now, this is where things get really interesting, guys, because these first three, you have kind of so-so debuts and openings compared to the IPO prices, but you've got excellent lifetime performances. ARM, Reddit, CoreWeave, all up well over 100% each from their first day. And then we go to the sad side of the board, where things get increasingly sad with each IPO. Circle, you're slightly up here in the lifetime, but only slightly, and certainly nothing compared to the massive growth you had in ARM, Reddit, or CoreWeave. Figma and Bullish, you had awesome opens compared to where the IPOs were priced, but so-so debut sessions and actually red lifetime performances. So it's interesting here. We're gonna have to see how this trend continues with Cerberus coming out, or with Cerberus and Quantinuum, which I will eventually add once we have enough data, as well as SpaceX here on Friday. But I thought this was interesting. If you guys like really weird, minute research projects like this, always feel free to tag me in this chat or go on my post on X at TTV Research and let me know what you want to see next. In the meantime, this session of To the Window, or To the Chart Window, To the Wall is now completed, and this infographic will be available on Friday morning on X at TTV Research as we await SpaceX's debut. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Adira. I was just looking at that core. The most interesting one for me would be that CoreWeave. Like that came out, just looked like great as expected, like at the same price. Yeah, a little. She said a little lower there, but yeah, it came out as expected at that price, and then that's been a good story. But again, I think that some of that is a little bit not that it's misleading, but like the bullish one, you know, came out basically at crypto highs, and now you're at crypto lows. I don't want to say lows because probably goes lower. Yeah, so a falling tree there.
Although when a tree falls, it has to hit the ground.
Yeah, and if there's nobody there, it doesn't actually make a sound. But then there's that.
There's nobody in the bid.
Right, yeah, if there's nobody on the bid, doesn't make a sound. And then, you know, we had ARM coming out at the right time, so shout out to SoftBank and everybody that made bank on that one. And then also CoreWeave, same kind of deal. Nebius, same kind of deal. Like a lot of these names came out at hot times. So that's why I'd be interested to see what Cerberus does, because that one came out at the right time, basically, right? I mean, it's hot IPO season. Hot for AI. Obviously today you're looking and you're not saying that. I think today and Friday's big hit in the market is due to SpaceX. I don't think it has anything to do with technicals or anything like that. I think it's people getting liquid for SpaceX and putting in those bids to get allocation. I mean, it was 2 times oversubscribed yesterday. It's 4 times today. So these are people that have cleared out some of their portfolios today down. Look at a stock like Marvell. Look at a stock like, where there's absolutely nothing wrong. Marvell put up a great quarter. They went up. They got the Jensen bump. They got the S&P 500 bump. Yet it's down. People selling names that have been working. Right, AMD's another example, even NVIDIA's another example. As we get into other AI names, sell the ones that have been the winners, get ready for SpaceX and put in those bids and get that allocation. I think like even on Thursday, we'll have to see what that allocation looks like. And if a lot of traders got it or didn't, they may put that money back to work. Like if you put out a bid for $100,000 worth of shares for SpaceX, and Robinhood comes back to you, or Schwab or whoever you're with comes back to you and fills you for 25,000, well then what does that mean now moving forward? You have 75,000, just like Neil was saying, you're sitting there in cash. So now you got to think about, okay, that didn't work out. So you're either saving it for SpaceX, but remember, you have $25,000 worth of the bid. So you already have it at 135 or whatever the price is going to wind up being. Then you go and you start to work that trade in a different way. So for me, it's going to be a very, very interesting and exciting day there. But I think that's part of the reason why the market is going to the downside is, you know, the SpaceX fluff.
It's that second
factor. Trying to get that figured out.
It's that second factor. When people get a small fraction of the allocation that they want, what's going to happen is it's basically what happened to ARM. Like it'll do that crazy move. And the problem with the ARM chart is, what are you going to do? It went from 60 to like 400 bucks. But if you look at when it opened, it was in the 50s, 60s. It got as high as like almost 70, and then then just pull back, and it caught lots of bids from 45 to 50 bucks, and then it just slowly the buyers started to come in, and then when it finally broke out the IPO high, I mean, it was absolute gold. But this is what for myself, I'm not trying to be very tricky about this. On the day of, it's just a momentum play. It is a ridiculous amount of liquidity, and it is momentum, and that's all you care about. After the fact, if it goes 20% down, I'm just gonna be on the bid. I haven't said 20 or 25%, whatever it opens. Let's say it opens at, it's a 135 issue, so let's call it, just to make the math simple, it opens at 270, right? Or we can just look at a Cerberus chart and imagine, let's just imagine that
Cerberus did double, right? It was 185 to 360.
Yeah, 185, yeah, we'll just use this chart as an example. Imagine that Cerberus was that, right? Like, and it opens at 350 bucks. Then I'll just be on the bid for probably 20% at 280. Right? And then and then the issue price, I'd probably be out in front of that one as well. So that was 185, so I'd probably be on there for another 20% and do a couple of dip buys. And if that happens in the first couple of months, then I've got myself a starter position in the IPO, and then I can move on to the next couple of quarters. Now, obviously, I didn't do that on Cerberus because I have zero interest in this company, but SpaceX, absolutely. Anthropic, yes. OpenAI, I don't know. You buying OpenAI? You like?
No, I'm not buying any of these IPOs.
Well, not at the open, not at the issue. But
I'm buying them all then.
On the dip.
Yes, all of them.
I don't know if
Go on. I'm a long-only tech guy, basically. I mean, I'm trying to get that changed, but I can't. Every time like today I went in and bought more IREN on the way down. You bought more IBM. I mean, we're buying more tech plays. It's crazy.
I bought Walmart the other day on a dip. I do buy, like, I buy Caterpillar on, well, Caterpillar is kind of tech too these days. Like,
yeah, it's all about the build out the same way. I mean, that's why
that's sort of the problem, yeah. It's like a lot of these things that maybe weren't traditionally considered.
Exactly, so we're doing the same stuff over and over again, although we pretend like we're not. The only thing I was talking about was J&J. That was a strong name, you know, and then SoFi. So J&J and SoFi would be the only two ones that I'm kind of trying to lean into. And J&J, again, up 2% today, so it's working, right? I mean, the thought here is working on what I'm thinking about, and that is to try to get a little bit more into non-tech. But you know what? It all goes back to this, right? I think it all goes back to, I may just, you know, on dramatic moves like today, I think the best thing to do is, especially if you want to stay long tech, is you could just buy the Qs, right? I mean, sell the index, buy the index back and forth, and I think that's the way to do it. You know, sell your big winners and buy the index and just keep on doing that. And, you know, like, let's just say IREN doubles and the Nasdaq only goes up like, you know, 10% in that time period or something, you know, then that's when there might be some relative value in a play like that. That's the kind of stuff. Or we talked about XLF a couple times over and over again, and that's part of the reason why we do it. But, you know, like, look, this is why I stay away. And, like, you know, I stay away from, and we all have our own different styles and everything like that, but I stay away from small cap names because we're really on one with big cap names. And it's just like right here with PDT rules coming in, I think it's very important that most of you traders that are out there, you know, you got to think about what style is your style and either stick with it and try to keep on improving it, which is why I've been sitting here now for the last couple months telling you, like, I'm increasing the share sizes I'm using every single day, you know, because it's just, honestly, it's becoming more comfortable to do that. And I think you can't get comfortable until you get uncomfortable. And I just think that that's something for trading that is so true. And it's true in sports or anything that you're doing. If you don't push yourself, whether or not you're at the gym, whether or not you're doing anything, if you just keep on doing the same stuff that you know you can accomplish, and that's why I say all the time, if making $100 or $200 was happy for me to sit here every day to make that stuff, then I would just do that with my eyes closed. But I'm trying to get bigger and better. You know, working here for 25 years, right? We have certain expectations on what we're trying to make. So for me, talking like that is a little different than maybe somebody out in the market right now that maybe had just started. Like that example I gave about the coach messaging me, right? It's like, you got to figure out what is your time frame? What are you trying to do? What kind of an income level are you trying to hit? How comfortable are you with taking big risk? You're not going to make big money without big risk, but do you even want to take those kind of levels, right? And that's the whole part of it, right? And so it's like, get comfortable doing what you're doing and then just keep doing it better every single day. And I think that's what it is. So I do appreciate everybody in the chat. And we're gonna we were thinking about it, and in the back, we don't have it up today, but we want to have a new thing, more chats going, right? Yeah, and so we have a little more talk like that, right? But
we're gonna go to Sia. We've got, we'll make sure she's ready for happening now.
I think we heard go Sia. Glad to have Sia here. By the way, Adara's on vacay soon, right? So Sia's going to be taking on, I think, later on this week.
Holla, there.
You knew this, Neil, because we were devastated to learn that the SpaceX IPO was happening the same time as my vacation. I'm fixing the taco gate teeth, which, in case you guys don't know, I broke my
Oh, no.
I got a taco shell here at work, and that's what I'm doing.
That's right.
You should, yeah, we should be suing the caterer for that one.
I don't know how you, like the taco, come on, tacos.
Come on, taco. Come on, tacos.
Soft tacos.
Smarten up, tacos.
Come on now.
You know which name, I mean, are we going to see ya?
I think so.
Okay, then send it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to miss Adara. I'm also going to miss when the Senate Banking Committee is going to be talking and Adara is not going to be there. Anyways, I know. So we're going to move on. Let's talk about the let's talk about the top three first. The SPY down 0.58%. The triple Qs, up 0.58%. The triple Qs down 1.5%. And the Dow up 0.24%. We're going to take a look at the tickers that I have for you in store today. We're going to talk about Micron. So Micron did, as I spoke about earlier, receive an upgrade by UBS today, but the shares are still sliding, and we're going to try to figure out why. UBS has raised expectations for Micron's fiscal third quarter modeling revenue of $36 billion and EPS of $20.96, both above the company's guidance. The firm has said that the recent industry checks suggest the memory pricing continues to improve faster than expected. Analysts have also believe and continue to believe that the market is still valuing Micron as a cyclical memory company, despite certain structural changes that are driven, as you know it, by the AI demand. High bandwidth memory, HBM, AI servers, and advanced memory products are increasingly becoming a larger share of MU's mix. And in the business, UBS has also argued that it's only a matter of time before the investors assign Micron higher valuation multiples as earnings become more AI-driven and less commodity-like. It's happening throughout. They've also maintained its buy rating and $1,625 price target, which signals a continued confidence in the AI memory cycle. With that, currently MU down almost 4.5%. We're going to take a look at APLD next. Applied Digital has signed a major lease for upcoming Delta Forge 2 AI factory campus with a US-based hyperscaler. This agreement represents approximately $5.2 billion of contracted revenue initially and could expand roughly to $12.7 billion if the extension is exercised over a 30-year period. The initial lease covers 210 megawatts of capacity for 15 years, which provides long-term revenue visibility. But however, after this, management has not identified the customer, but the deal does mark the company's third long-term hyperscaler lease, which reinforces demand for AI compute infrastructure. With that, APLD up 3.4%. That's all for your happening now. Sending it back to the boys.
Thank you, Sia, for the update. APLD was a disappointing one.
Yeah, that was the one that we were saying, if it breaks that pre-market low, it's probably a short there.
Yeah, it just, the problem for me was it almost, I was sitting here ready to punch long APLD. It was really close. I mean, like, just by a hair's margin, like it does. Like, I like when you do a fake out bottom or a fake out top, like a fail break of the high, fail break of the low, like right here. And a lot of stocks did this. It looked like a breakdown, and then it would have been, like, if it ticks maybe 30 cents higher. I think here I'm probably long this one over VWAP, but you never really know. And now that it is at VWAP, it could be a little bit of a different story. This is a good-looking stock. Like, it bounced right off to 50. That's what you like to see. 50 period on the daily, buyers, support from last week there too. If you go back to Friday at the lows, it's underneath $39. So, like, this one, yeah, I'm probably going to look for this over VWAP. It's a bit of a gap fill as well, because you can break here, and even if you just get back into 43.4, like, you're talking $1 worth of work. And this afternoon doesn't have like a ton of volume. Like, you're kind of in one of those gentle uptrends, as we like to call it. And sometimes when you see something like that, you're going to look for somewhere to join or somewhere sharp to revert. So I want to be playing off only VWAPs, that kind of a thing, for sure. And if we're, oh, really? There's still the mic issues? Yeah, we're still working on the mic issues. Okay, so yeah,
that's
we'll
frustrating.
try something to fix the mics. I'll go back to Sean. I think we have some ideas on how to fix it.
I think the mic is my mic, isn't it? Or
No,
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, no idea what's going on. We are. Please be patient with us here. I was actually just saying, like, wow, Clover. I said to Neil, like, this stock is really off right now. I mean, this thing was $1.60 back in the low of April's, and then up to $4.30 right now. So there goes Clover to the upside. And yeah, no, a lot of love there. This is one of those Chamath names that I think obviously it was a SPAC. It came to market, you know, north of $10, I'd imagine there. But Clover right here on a healthcare kick is now moving back there, back to the upside. Yeah, the only thing, Smurf, I wish that was true, but like, this is my pen. So there is no clicking capabilities on my pen. And I would, look, if the mic issues was me doing that, we could solve that real fast. But yeah, no, not that right now. Maybe we have some clickbait, but no click pens right now. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're trying to watch out for those mics, and we do have a team on here trying to work on that. So, okay, apologize in advance on there. All right, so that's that. Now let's move on and talk about something else. Why don't we do that? That's Clover, nice upside move. Neil mentioned about dip buying into some IBM. I like that play. We had able to get some of that as well earlier. But I bought some IREN at $51 again today, 51.25. So far so good down there, and literally just lucky that it had bounced there. I kind of feel like the same way about my last IREN buy. It just stopped and started going back up. And again, it's just, I think we use the same methodology, man. I mean, right back into the 50-period moving average. So we'll take a bid there on a name that I think can work. I am underwater on CEG. I talked about Constellation. I think this is a little bit of a better longer-term investment for myself, so not worried about this one as much and not even really thinking about dip buying. But, you know, I've learned my lesson when we went from 200 to 400 on ARM. You know, that was an easy sell up at the top, and I, you know, talked about that. That was no problem. A double up in 2 weeks. You know, we'll take that hand over fist, and then getting out of some Marvell was kind of that was a little tougher because I still do really believe in Marvell, but at their current valuation and the move that it's had was kind of an easy sell up there as well. But we didn't sell nearly as much. Well, we sold all of ARM, but we didn't sell anything of Marvell. If you're talking about 20, 25%, that would be it. So, and that's coming down 10%. But we had made it back. Like, this name up or down 10% is common these days for Marvell. I mean, look at the chart of this, like that. These are 30% moves, and then all of a sudden back in, a little bit up, back in, up, back in. So each one of these candles is like 25, 30 bucks. So Marvell definitely with some actionable trades lately as well. Yeah, so Uber, people just talked about there in the chat. We do want to go over the chat as much as possible with you guys. So, you know, there it is, Uber, you guys want to talk about it. This is actually holding out quite nicely today. Didn't even really get a dip. I mean, dipping into 69.60, I mean, that's something that, you know, we've had that move before. So I don't even really consider it too much of a warning shot here at all right now for Uber or anything like that. I think it's right at a decent level. We can watch out for Uber here at 70 bucks. I want to be a seller of this if it can go back to 80. Maybe not a seller completely, but definitely worth getting something out on Uber if we do wind up having a back end play on that. So that would be something that I'm trying to do right now, is wait for that to come back up into 80 bucks into this area right there for Uber. But that's another call that maybe we can look at soon enough. And then Google, I think, is a good dip buy, but again, it's up today. So you got to sort of get aggressive in the middle of the day, and we're sitting here trading. And I feel like for us, or for me anyways, you know, it can be tough to differentiate what you're doing on the show, maybe as a trade style, and then what you're doing in your own personal portfolios, right? So that's part of it. Like, you're involved in the market every day. So you got to have left brain, right brain on the two different accounts, right? So just like we're going to try to get aggressive on the SpaceX buy off the open, that's because Neil and I have direct market access. We can hopefully, knock on wood, flip it for a profit or a loss, but we could do it instantly.
The best part about it is,
oh man, the best part about it is no sleep on Thursday night.
It's so incredibly binary that it just sort of happens.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. It's like a shot. Like, you're getting, like, you know, blood draw. They just draw it and that's it. It's over with. Or you gotta take your medicine.
So, like, I used to be a sprinter. I like that fact. Like, you wait the entire track meet,
and the race is done,
to step on for like 10 seconds of fun. And I feel like that's exactly what the IPO is.
Yep.
Like, you sit there, you just lock and focus, and all you have to do is execute for 10 seconds. Like, you're hopefully Usain Bolt, and hopefully we don't end up like.
Well, you're not wrong.
Well, I don't know what. Darren wanted to chime in. What do you got for us today?
I was just gonna say here, well, I have a couple things now. So the one thing I was gonna say was that what you guys are saying, difficult differentiating what you're doing on the show versus otherwise. I think especially as someone who like literally came into being introduced in the market on the show and first trade live in front of you guys, I do think it's like a big kind of mind, you know, head spin, head trip to kind of get around that, because I think a lot of times it's easy to see it as you're purely there for entertainment, especially when you're first starting, especially when you're on the sim, and you kind of have to take your time to differentiate and figure out how much of that is you and how much of that is show you, if that makes sense. So I do stand by that. I also, just because I'm here, I saw someone in the chat asking about LMT, and as someone who occasionally trades this, I pulled up the chart, and 528 is a cool look, but by no means is this financial advice. I just wanted to share it while I already was here.
Yeah, I appreciate you. And just, we have a super chat in here. Oh,
Yeah,
really? My mic,
I
thought we got some fixed there. Hopefully the mics aren't still a bit of an issue. Oh, there it is.
All we need is one mic.
Dave Zed, sup, not the market. Why? Dave's dumb trade of the day.
Oh, no, we don't want any dumb trades.
Oh, they're usually pretty solid. Quantum and space dips, yo. What comes around goes around. Well, clearly as someone who bought the 50 period on IBM to get some more there. I like that, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say that's not the quantum you were talking about, right, Dave? You were probably thinking, because no one gets, I don't know why people don't get excited about things like IBM or Alphabet as quantum plays, but I just typed Rigetti and gold is still, whatever. There we go. You're probably thinking like what, Rigetti, IonQ, D-Wave, QTS, QUBT, like those are probably the ones that you're thinking about. They're also at the 50. My whole thing is...
Oh, IBM, by the way, you bought it at the 200, not at the 50, IBM. Yeah, you made, not that, I'm not saying it's a mistake, but I was just...
Did I misspeak?
Well, only because you just mentioned, you said right now.
Okay, that's my bad.
Because I didn't realize that the 200...
I misspoke, yeah.
You don't have 200 mostly above like that. It's anyways, I just want to give that sort of context.
Which, by the way, is one of my favorite long setups, the death cross squeeze. And look, I have nothing against the death cross, but oftentimes it gives more upside because a bunch of people short the death cross. No, but you're thinking Rigetti, and I like D-Wave. If we're looking at some of these, I just find with things like Rigetti, D-Wave, IonQ, whatever the QUBT, or if you're looking at the nuclear names, like the difference between SMR and like CEG, or if you're looking at, let's say, Sidus versus like a Tesla, or there's companies that don't make money and companies that have no fundamentals realistically, but there's a business there, there's an upside there. I always treat them as either trades or could go to zero in my brain. Like if I buy shares, like whenever shares a D-Wave, like in my head, SMR is the perfect example. Like I'm holding on, I only sold 2/3 of SMR. Like my final third is, and it was great, don't get me wrong, but I'm underwater on the last of it. But when I hold that, I'm like, that could go to zero. In my brain, that's just it. And it's just a shot play. I never intended on getting it all out. I mean, thankfully I haven't gotten all back in there, but I think you gotta be careful. And as long as you have that mentality, like you're talking about companies with valuations in the billions whose revenues are in the millions, and sometimes not even that, which is a scary proposition, but that's also where the potential upside comes in. Because the truth is, you're not always gonna get a shot at something that can give you 20, 30x. Like it's just, you're pretty much going to have to be in something that's fundamentally not great, right? Like you're not getting 20, 30x on Apple because everybody covers it and everyone knows it's good, and it's a good thing to have in your portfolio, but you're never getting that return out of Apple. You had to get them when people didn't like it. Like Amazon, when everybody was hating on Amazon for all their spending and trying to pivot the business and no one really believed they could do it, it was dead. That's when you had to really get an Amazon. You're no longer gonna get that out of Amazon. You're not gonna get that out of Alphabet. They're too mature for that at this point. But just understand, like these could go to zero. Like I would be willing to say, like, out of those 4 quantum names that we just mentioned, and we were talking about Rigetti, QUBT, whatever, IonQ, and D-Wave. If one of them is still around in 20 years, I think that would be a good outcome. I think that'd be a very good outcome if one out of the 4 of them was still in like 10 years, let's say. 5 years is too short. Like call it like 10 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them go under. I mean, there could also be takeout targets, like if they actually get something right and their technology is legit enough to support something. I could see that for sure. All right, hey, it's Sia time. Small cap recap. Let's go see what she's up to.
The IWM up 0.23%. We're going to take a look at individual tickers. BE, my favorite small cap. Well, it's not a small cap, but it's on the Russell. It's reversing its losses since the morning session, currently up on the day almost 2%. UCTT Ultra Clean Holdings up almost 10%, up 32% year over year. This is a leading developer and supplier of critical subsystems, components and parts, maintained at outperformed by Oppenheimer. Just one analyst commentary over there. Hut 8 down by almost 7%. AVD, American Vanguard Corporation, up 14% on the day. Overall, not a bad day.
Yeah, we were just talking about, like, now we talk about small caps and stuff like that. It used to be, you know, like under 250 million or something was a small cap. Now it's like a name could go from small cap to large cap in one day if it's these halters going back and forth. And you know, one halting name that's hitting right now is CCTG right here. So shout out to CCS Technology, halted again right there. So watch out now if you are into this name, as this is what the chart looks like. And look, for me, I know this is not, we talked about Sharif and Joe in the small cap show in the midday, like this is not even something that, I mean, I'm sure they looked at it, but that's almost impossible to trade. You know, opening and closing like that as it goes, almost stupid to even look at it. And I shouldn't have even called it up. The one AZI was an earlier look today that came real hot, real early with tons of volume, died down, volume picked up after the halt, volume picked up again as we made it into $6, but this name up 273%. This looks like a decent one that we could try to support here if you're looking for small cap names, right? So AZI with good volume, 173 million shares, could be something to look. PAVS would be another one. And now you're looking at VWAP, right? Still holding, there's VWAP there. Sure, it spikes above it, and you have outs. That's why, like, again, Neil and I will trade as these guys will too, and all of us will around here on a prop floor. And you know, stops are pretty important because, and we just talked about getting uncomfortable in positions. It's like, if you hold something that you're short off VWAP and it's 550, if you're taking any kind of real position, real shares, you're probably gonna lose your whole day if it runs up to $7. So you gotta have a stop somewhere around VWAP or have an idea of where you're gonna stop out on. Yeah, so Neil came back and said, like, what happened at, oh, you want I was gonna talk about the war, but go on, more about trading. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say, like, at 12:30, we did have some.
I was on for a walk.
Yeah, well, I wasn't even really paying too much attention to the news, but I did. Yeah, I think this is where Trump said they got to get revenge, potentially.
Yeah, so he said, and there's more context in this. I'll just start with what he said, and then we can move on to, like, what happened or didn't happen. But basically, President Trump saying that there was, I believe, at least one Apache helicopter shot down by Iranian military. Apparently, there were some pilots in it. He was saying that the U.S. was going to strike back in retaliation for this attack. Now, then Axios reported that the U.S. is still investigating this, and apparently it's not clear yet if this was an intentional attack from Iran to try to hurt people. Like they said, it's clear, apparently Iran forces hit that helicopter, the Apache helicopter. Again, unclear the level of intention, which I guess we'll have to wait and find out what exactly that means. But now we have Iran in response saying, according to Mer News, that their army is on full alert following President Trump's comments. So the back and forth, unfortunately, does not appear to stop, guys.
And pretty amazing, apparently one of the drone boats saved the pilots. That's super cool, man. I think it's anything, there's good military spending too. Like there's some of what's going on is gonna save a lot of lives and without putting new ones at risk. I wanted to say one thing about these small caps, because when Sean was pointing out, I believe it was CCTG, and I'll show this about MTM, which is also halted, by the way. See this? This is the problem with the last batch of some of these small cappers. When it's trading this way, you can wrap your head around it. But when you're gonna gap down and lose 20%, and then it's gonna halt again, and then halt for an hour, and then get cut more than in half, or on this MTEN, again, being longer than 5 or 10 minute halts, halt down, halt for longer, and then gap way down and give up the entirety of the move, there lies the problem. In 20 years, here's what I'll tell you, the reason why when you trade for a long period of time and you can look at strategies and like this one, all you have to do is work on your entries and exits and blah, blah, blah. And then as long as there's enough liquidity, you can scale up and a trade's a trade. That stuff doesn't apply when on one small capper, you could have a 50 stop and get out at 40.80. And on another, it goes into a down halt and you're slipped $3. That's just, it's a completely different beast, which requires a different set of strategies. Like that's crazy because this is tapping 268. What's the deal here? There must be, let me just.
$2. Yeah, that tap could change. Taps have been like really crazily changing.
But this has been halted for 20 minutes now.
See, that's
MTN. And if you are trading these, just try to pull up, you can have your own source, but Nasdaq Trader has this Halt scanner, which will show you, wow, there's so many of these. So yeah, it has a cool
They had an offering. So they had, it's just right here, MTN, Mintang International.
But they still haven't opened yet.
I know, but maybe now it's final. They priced it at $2. So that's probably why the move down. I just wanted
and
to.
And it'll probably bounce off that too.
Yeah, that's just an offering. So let it come down, settle down. We saw something, I don't know if it was Rocket Lab or something before, had an offering, and it was really well received. So, all right, so we're getting lighter and lighter on that, so we'll ring the register here on Google. Again, just hovering in this area. You know, I was gonna say if we break VWAP, we can get out of the rest, but yeah, just all the way up. And you know, I know that looks silly with all these outs, but that's what I'm doing, and I gotta get better at that. That is for sure. All right, a trade opportunity right here if you guys are looking for something. What about the fact that we're still underneath VWAP on this market and Amazon is going sideways? I mean, so is Google at these levels, and Amazon's actually green today, so that's something to be interested on for sure. But Amazon's been now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and sometimes our candles aren't properly marked red v green. So let me just have a quick look. Yeah, this one would be closing there, so that one probably should be green. But after that, you basically had six or eight straight down days there for Amazon, mined maybe one up day. And this is another one of those names that I really think, if you're talking about a longer term play, you gotta have to like Amazon. But just for today, what about if we break below VWAP and we actually take this level, 244.75? If we take 244.75, I think that can trigger us into a short on Amazon. So I'm gonna put that trade in just in case we get a little whoosh moment here and we know that we wanna, you know, attack something. And I don't necessarily, what I mean by a whoosh moment is I don't want the market to absolutely like, oh, there's news, like Donald Trump says this, whoosh to the downside, because sure, I'll get into that trade, but those are the ones where, you know, you get in there, it comes back in, we'll try to cover if that is what winds up happening, but sometimes it just, whoop, you get short and then whoop, right back up, and those are the ones where you really get spanked. Like, I'd rather it kind of just hang out, do what it's doing like this, make the move lower, then get some kind of a push, break that level, and then we start to go short. So for me, that would be something to look at, and I think we're preaching, practicing as we preach here a little bit, because that is kind of the ideal here with Google, but the other way around, we're already in it. So my stop here on Google would be the other way around. It would be a stop and a break through VWAP. So that's something that I'm looking at for that kind of an experience point down there. So I'm just going to get that set up for Amazon, but now it's $1 away, so the market's going higher. And what about even a VWAP break on the market right now? That could be something to look at for sure. So there's lots of ideas that are sort of running through this evil mind, but I don't, 29,001 right there coming into play right here. Marissa just picked up a new hockey stick for G. I got it off Facebook Marketplace. It's gonna be her second stick. So the Bauer Pulse, yeah, well, she has a backup, but it's not the same quality as her first stick. This is a $320 stick new. Can you believe that? We picked it up for $180, so yeah. Oh, my hat broke above VWAP.
I can believe that.
Shout out, yeah, I mean, baseball bats, baseball bat is $450. Like, there's some stupid prices out there. It's ridiculous. All right, yeah, so there goes Palantir, man. Again, I like this stock. Don't love it as a longer term play right now. I still think you want to try to break through this 200 period moving average, which it tried again, but you are down here, and if we're gonna talk about nibbling into something, you know, I do like Alex Karp. I do like sort of the founder-led business models there, and, you know, to have control and make decisions on what they're doing. One of their UK contracts yesterday was put into question, so, you know, that's something to look at for Palantir. But yeah, man, this is another one of those names like in Amazon that just has a lot of downside play. And you already mentioned it, that drone, well, first of all, AVAV is down, but that's not the drone boats. But I just think that as we talk more about drones and we talk about safety of of the men and women that you know are over there and fighting these battles. Obviously, we know that we're not going to have trench warfare or anything anymore. So it's these drones and things like that I think Palantir, you know, does have somewhat of a stranglehold on a lot of that business. So I really like Palantir, and I think it's a buy, and it might be a nibble down here, but just be careful. Like the Nasdaq is just having a dance right now. It was down 4%, and it's just made it all the way back. Like that is some crazy dip buying. And you know, this just goes to show there's a hell of a lot of money on the sidelines right now. So just be careful with what you're doing, buy the best names, and yeah, let's keep on trading some of these crazier stocks that are out there. Put them in the chat, let us know what you guys want to do. I see Joe's Netflix and chilling over there, he just put in the chat, so we'll figure that out. What are you guys watching on Netflix?
Chill more.
Are you guys watching anything on Netflix?
What's on Netflix?
I'm watching, it's, I forget her name, but it's the mock on the Lakers. It's
You're talking about Miss Kate Hudson.
Yes, Kate Hudson.
Running Point, I believe.
Yeah, Running Point. Yeah, it's a really good one. So it's she's the GM. Oh no, I know you're talking about the stock. But I'm Running Point. It's with Kate Hudson, and they're GM of the Lakers. But it's called The Wave. So it's a different name, but it's the same thing, and it's a really good show.
Okay, so it's like a spoof?
No, it's a serious show. It's just they're a bunch of they're family run, just like the Lakers are with the Bussy family. Yeah, so it's the same thing, Bus. So it's the same thing, and it's a lot of fun to watch that. Yeah. And then we're watching the one with Steve Carell, who he passed away in that show, 4 Seasons. It's another great one on Netflix. My hat's off to 4 Seasons.
Too many shows that I just don't know.
Yeah, it's, no, in the season 1, he passed away. This is now season 2.
Neil, what are you watching?
Neil, what are you watching?
This is terrible, but like I want to start The Boys, but like we just haven't gotten around to it.
It's
the last
actually
season
a good show. It's on
The
Prime,
Boys.
though.
No, I've seen it. I just haven't started the last season. I'm a little bit behind. Like I'm trying to get caught up in Foundation, which is on Apple TV.
Fair.
Which Apple TV's got good science fiction. I love science fiction.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean to get to The Boys because I think that's one of the best shows out there. I've heard some mixed things about the last season, but whatever. At this point, I'm pretty invested. And they shoot it here in Canada, in Toronto.
Cool.
So shout out to The Boys. I was actually thinking of, when Netflix got mentioned, I was actually thinking about Netflix to stock because if you're scared about AI, like Netflix has usually been pretty good at being strong when tech has gotten weak. But I'm thinking about another name because one thing you've heard us say a lot is, oh, too much tech and this and that. And for myself, I've said many times, like the non-tech positions that I have, like what the big ones are, and it's like Lilly and Cadence and all that stuff. But one that's recent for me that I'm actually looking to add to is AbbVie. I think it's another sort of divvy. It gives me something at least in the healthcare space, biopharm space, where it's trending back up, and what I love about this is it's breaking a down channel. I hate this daily. Okay, let's do a weekly chart. I like zooming out. I think sometimes if you don't zoom out far enough, I think you can lose the story. And when I looked at this one, it's like what are you doing here? Like this is a pretty safe one, and it's also in a very long consolidation, just asking to break out. Whatever, I won't bother drawing them. You see these lower highs? It's got this channel that's trying to break and holding at 200. So I really like this. I think it gives you the safety. It's got a bit of a dividend, and it's a very nice, strong upward trend. So if you're worried about tech wreck, I think this is a safe place. Hide is the wrong word. I hate the term hide in something when the chart is a stock that just only gently goes up. Like you're not really hiding in it because you're expecting returns and you're expecting divvy. But it does give you a place that if you're worried about like some kind of big correction because of SpaceX, I like this one. Let's go back up to, let's go to my left.
Yeah, we're gonna go over here because volatility, everybody creates movement. And if you're a sophisticated trader, of course, movement creates opportunity. Beta Pro by Global X offers Canada's first and longest running suite of levered and inverse levered ETFs built for sophisticated investors who understand the risks of leverage and the importance of precision. It's triple levered bull, TQQ, and triple levered bear, ETFs tied to the Nasdaq 100, are designed for daily tactical trades, providing amplified daily exposure and giving traders the tools to engage in both market momentum momentum upwards and downwards. These strategies are also currency hedge, seeking to offset US dollar exposure back to the Canadian dollar. For those navigating short-term market moves, both up and down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act with conviction, whatever that looks like for your individual trading strategies, objectives, and risk profile. Please, everybody, trade tactically and learn more about this product at betapro.ca, and thank you to them for their continued sponsorship of the program. Neil, it might be the Neil and Sharif show come Monday moving forward, because this is what Joe's saying right here. Well, Joe is right here. Where is it? Oh no, it moved there. He goes, he may or may not be here Monday after he YOLOs this UFC event. I may or may not be here Monday either, depending on what SpaceX does. So Neil, get ready, man. It might be the Neil and Sharif all-day show.
First of all, if
come
SpaceX fails,
Monday,
there's going to be a shutdown. Because I've already said, if SpaceX, like what happened on the last IPO, where it was a hit, but like it basically gave you an easy out, like an easy local out on that Quantinium, whatever. If that happens and there's another bottom, I'm just going to take another shot at it off of the lows. But what's so crazy about the UFC event that you'd be YOLOing, Joe? Get your mic on. It doesn't even make any sense to me.
he's making a play on some guys. I mean, you don't know.
He's making a
you don't know
play.
any of the fighters. I mean, this guy's a
going
gambler over here, man. This is the thing. As long as he's not using Katina Wilson Capital money.
Oh,
then
no.
we're fine.
Responsibly, everybody.
Am I on? Am I live here?
You're live.
Can we get the nod?
Yes.
What if I pulled the little SBF there, Katina, man, and took the...
No, I've already locked you out. I've already blocked the credit cards. The accounts are already
Wilson
frozen.
Capital. But hear me out on this one, right? So I got 2 KOs. It's Alex Pereira to KO Cyril Gahn, and then Ilya Taporia to KO Justin Gaethje. Listen, we're either hella up or we're just...
What are those paying? What are those paying, though?
They're pretty good, man. They're pretty
Are they
good.
more than 2 to 1?
When you parlay them, check it on Proline.
Oh, you know what? I don't want to play on play. I want you to tell me what it is, man. I mean, I thought we had an open relationship
But yeah,
with
man,
our funds.
listen, it's either I'm on step 65 of the 3-step process or we're on step 2 of the 3-step process. Either way, it's just...
You can make more in the first 5 seconds of SpaceX.
Yeah, man, let's go.
way more. Yeah, he's
first
going to.
round KOs too, if we want to juice
I
it
got
up.
Joe.
First round KO, so that's Bill's.
First round KOs. Oh, that's a little bit juicy
No,
there.
but in all seriousness, if Alex Pereira beats Cyril Gahn, he'll be the first 3-division champion in UFC history, and Dana White stating that he's going to surpass John Jones as the all-time great.
Okay. I did get Joe more, almost a double of his buying power. So he's getting ready for SpaceX. This guy's going to go on SpaceX. So get ready for the Joe, Neil, and Sean show on Friday as we are.
Sharif's getting a bump. Sharif asked for a bump too. It's
Yeah,
just a
but Sharif might not take it.
It's just about taking like the shots when something is historic. That's all. And
Of course, Neil, it's not even about that. Our biggest trades here
that's what I'm saying,
even yours, mine, have all been IPOs. So it's kind of like this is the strategy.
But it doesn't have to be IPOs. Like one of the things.
No, it doesn't have to be, but it has been.
Like where's Tip? Here.
Oh no, but I'm talking about our trading, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. But if we're gonna shout out real trading.
Yeah, let's go, man. I literally do this every day.
My default browser is now. I gotta switch that back to Chrome. Although we'll see. It got pushed over to Edge. We'll just go to compare your profits. Because here's the thing, and when we look at the profits, just one note here, because we're showing you at Real Trading what the profits are, specifically for Blue Ocean. For everything else, when we scroll down like the top 10 traders, all this Blue Ocean was actually not last night. This was Sunday night. So it's an extra period delayed. I don't know if we've said that expressly before. It's not that it makes a huge difference, but this would be Sunday night on Blue Ocean, not Monday night. It's just a slight difference. Like this TSX, that would be yesterday. And so it's on made 16 grand on TSX. It's on made 14. The rest of this, Blue Ocean. 95K Blue Ocean, 44 Blue Ocean, 29, 27. It's all Blue Ocean from Sunday night. And the reason why I said like just whatever it might be, because it could be IPOs. It could be chip stocks or like whatever it was on Sunday night with all of that crazy turmoil. In the Blue Ocean market, it's something new. It could be silver, and silver and gold were going crazy. In fact, it was a lot of times here. And it could easily be some of these ridiculous small cappers. Like maybe this CCTG is your thing. I don't know. But like you're looking for liquidity events. Like what you want, And this is just the truth. You want a place where there's so much more liquidity in the market, it provides big volatility or the ability to have 10 times the size and trade the same way. Because if it's not scalable, you can practice any strategy out there, but if you practice ones that are scalable when the volume's higher, then you can just adjust. And then it's basically like playing poker, and like I liken everything to poker. A good poker player, there's no difference between playing a 2-5, 2-4 table or 200-400. Poker's poker at the end of the day. Can you just play it the same way? And if there's the opportunity to set a 200-400 and you've got the account for it, then you just go ahead and do that. But if there isn't and there's no one at that table, you go make your money in your 2-4. You're just playing poker. But you have to be at something where there's that liquidity. By the way, the CTTG is now halted a couple more times, and the one on the what's it called? MTEN, it's still halted on that offering news. It's now over half an hour. Looks APLD is kind of bunk. I don't think that's going to give us our VWAP breakout. Liked it for 42.50 break, but I've been waiting a while for it and it's still not doing anything. Let's go to see it.
SPY down 0.3% at the moment. We're going to take a look at our sector as we wrap up this trading day. NVIDIA, we talked about the headline for today about the Washington scrutiny and how Jensen Huang will not be attending the Senate hearing. Currently down almost 1%. Apple down 3.25% after its announcement at the WWDC about Siri AI, but not a lot of seats there. Market did want more. INTC Cadence deal. This partnership with Cadence Design Systems, made the major semiconductor design software provider. INTC currently down 3%. We have MU, no major reason why the stock is trading down today, but even although UBS has raised its pricing power, currently MU down 4%. Microsoft down almost 2%. Google in the green but trading flat almost. Meta, we heard about that EU regulation that it is opposing. It's currently up almost 1%. Tesla down 3%, even though the FSD has gotten approval in Denmark today. Apart from that, we have finance doing pretty good. Health tech also, even this morning, was doing pretty great, still performing great, holding that momentum. Not a great day for electric tech and tech services, but apart from that, sectors are looking pretty good.
WBD dropping here, guys. The Hollywood Reporter reporting that California is in talks to get a superstar tech lawyer to challenge Paramount's Warner Brothers deal. So once again here, California reportedly considering hiring a superstar lawyer in the tech space to challenge Paramount's attempts to acquire Warner Brothers. THR, the Hollywood Reporter, reporting this. Back to you.
Putting bids back and forth in it. Right here, this MTEN, just really quickly, man. I mean, it is an offering. We've sort of talked about that. It does get halted again. The offering was at $2, but it did reopen. Oh no, actually, it has not reopened since that. It's 14 right there as I look at the time, 14:33. So that's 2:33. So we do have another bit of concern here as we wait for MTEN to open up again. So it's a $2 offering there, and yeah, it's downside. So, you know, just looking at that trade as a trade and seeing what's going on with, oh gosh, Amazon, I actually, all right, good. I saw Amazon show up here on my chart window, on my watch list sort of window here that has a scanner. That's what it is. It's an alert list. And I was thinking it broke back down, but it didn't yet break. So yeah, I don't even know why that would have alerted there, but I was hoping for that trade there, 244.75. So the market's making a move down, which is always nice to see if you're looking to get some long, but you've just bounced right here. You're trying to anyways. This is your 50-period moving average. The market's fine now. It's only down 1.5%. I mean, I'm saying fine, but it's not down that 4% like it was before. This is an opportunity to maybe dip buy into something futures related. Like that's a good little trade there. Google does make a move down. My stop has to change now because it's 362. I haven't changed it since. So we're still going to wait for VWAP. Actually, let's get a little more aggressive. Let's go to 365. So all I'm doing here is looking for a level to trade off of. If it bounces off VWAP, fine, but I just don't really want to give up the 50 cents. It'll be the first time since we were in this that it broke clean the 50 period. And this is part of the reason how I got in, man. It's a 25 period. It's all of that. We got out a lot when it was there. We got out a lot at this top. Then we got out a lot at the 200. Not even really that much at VWAP, but the first time we did. And now we're just stair-stepping it higher, so we still do have some shares left. Let's get out of half of what we do have left now if it does break this 365. And, you know, we have, like, again, about that 5% left. It's nothing. But we actually had like 15 or 20% when we were up here. And it's these outs that have really made the difference P&L wise. So far, so good there. As it shoots up, it's now higher. So we've made now more money, even though we started the day red on, or basically flat on Google. We make this back, and now it's actually ahead of our Apple short rate now, P&L wise. So far, so good there. Waiting for Tesla to get a little lower. I mean, that was a great level of 386. It was the same kind of trade. We could have easily taken Tesla instead of Google there, and it looks like it's a very, very similar outcome on those two names. But let's go over to Adara, what you got over there.
Excuse me, the headlines never stop, Sean. Here is USO, not moving too much, but it is on watch here as we get reports from Iranian state media, specifically Fars News, saying that Sky News' claims about Iran's new proposal to the U.S. earlier are not true. Now, Sky News earlier today reported that the U.S. and Iran were in talks for a proposal specifically on nuclear, with Iran apparently potentially agreeing to a 15-year hold on enrichment. That did seem to be, as I even reported at the time, a little bit unrealistic for Iran to agree to, and now Fars News reporting that this is not actually happening. DJT also on watch, just seeing a headline here, DJT spiking higher. Move up here for Trump Media and Technology Group after the Department of Energy announced that they've released the finalized fusion science and technology roadmap to accelerate commercial fusion power. Now, we know DJT is attempting to merge with this BAE company, which is in that energy space, possibly why this is moving higher. Back to you.
I almost forgot about the whole DJT fusion thing. It's easy to have almost forgotten about it. You know, DJT merged with, it was like a 50-50 merge with a fusion energy company.
Right.
And that was a few months ago, and it feels like that kind of got lost in the sauce with everything else that's going on. Well, I mentioned in the chat, if you're not breaking out at VWAP, then let's go for the breakdown. It would have been, it's nice if it could have gone up, and talking about APLD here, do that 42.5, but I'm just gonna slide in. It's like flat bottom breaking, this consolidation. So we'll jump in the break, give it to like the body high is about 42.10 or so I'll throw the stop in there. Try to risk about 50 pennies on it, just trying to snag the fill. As you were getting a little bit of a rollover, market rolling over, again, VWAP in the afternoon, like it would have loved for this to be long. But if DJT, yeah, so we're in, stop, 42.10. I should just make sure I have it right, because I didn't, just above there. But if DJT, and again, he's barely even spiking. If it had continued, I would have wondered where you could fade this, to be honest with you. It's all the way at the bottom. And this is not to be political or anything, but this has been every single spike sort of allow it to get up for a week and then fade it, or allow it to get to an obvious even dollar level and fade it, or a previous high and fade it. So if it were to continue to about 825, 830, I think that would have been a little something there on DJT. And it's just for a momentum play more than anything else. Yeah, already heading to the downside. As here we go.
We're trying. So here's Amazon. I don't know, man. We got short 74s on that break rate there. It did get into 50, and I was like, let's wait. So I did put a bid now at 50. We'll see if we can grab some there at 51. We'll see if it does want to whoosh down just a little bit. But again, kind of just a half a unit play. Not trying to set the world on fire here or anything. Let's wait to see what winds up happening with this. Again, like the name, like everything about it, but not sure of where we're going with it. So we're gonna have to hold out. We are bidding 50s, and again, just a half a unit. This could just be a little bit of a drift down lower here, so not super excited anyways about what this is gonna do. So looking at VWAP here, that's 245. That seems to be a little shallow because we don't have too much on this. I'm gonna give it to 245.40 all the way to the back end of this trade, so 245, like a 41. If, look, if it breaks higher, it breaks higher. I mean, we're not This does not give me that same feel that Google sort of long did, getting back upside there. But we did kind of fail off VWAP. If anything, there's the top. So like, I just don't want to hold it that far. We're just going to hold it to the 25 period, and then we are going to short a little bit more. And there's Google, right? Google did come out right there, so the same kind of a break lower. We did take another piece out on that, so now we're just waiting. And it's Amazon right here that's getting juicy now to the upside. So let's put on just a little, well, we should have, instead of talking. I meant to get some more at 245. That's right where it just was. So we could have gotten some more short there. Here it comes back. I'm just offering a little bit here at 93. Then we'll get a position, and then we could be able to hold it 3/4 of a unit. We'll give it a shot here and see what winds up happening for Amazon. We'll try to build into 1 unit, and then I don't know. I'm not trying to play the momentum, and you know, right now it does look like we are going downside, so I'm not afraid of the play, but there it is. We've averaged into it. Let's wait to see if it wants to work. It's Amazon. Our average price is now 80. Because it's 80, we can put a bid down at mid 60s, see if we get something there, and then just try to average this through. And if it does break higher, it breaks higher. We're gonna take a shot here into power hour. It's already 320. So these imbalances, news obviously abound today. Let's give it a shot and see what winds up happening here on this Amazon short, right? I mean, we're long Google, but we did put on obviously more risk here with Amazon. So here we go, man. We're into the Amazon short now. It breaks sort of below the shelf there. Let's see if there is any sell pressure to continue this trade lower. So that's what we're waiting for. We're bidding mid 60s, we're bidding low 50s. If we get that, then yeehaw, and we'll be able to continue to move around on Amazon.
Yeah, already heading back. The market's lost VWAP on both fronts. The Nasdaq and the ES as well have both lost it. We just grabbed the 1-to-1 on APLDs. We're risking about 35 pennies. It just went down into the 30s to give us that fill. I'll reload this one if we get back into the mid 60s and 70s. And then looking target afternoon lows, about $40.50. So we're just looking for that buck move down, already a third of the way there. And once we pop up, we'll look for a reload on this bad boy. So yeah, it's just this one in the afternoon. APLD was at VWAP, wanted a break, ended up taking a breakdown instead. A reminder that the imbalances are gonna come out, the early looks pretty soon. And I'm anticipating on a day of volatility like this, we might see a little something interesting, but it'll be on the Nasdaq. So the early looks are only New York, nothing crazy, but I would not be surprised with the volatility we've seen today to see a little something on like an NVIDIA out of nowhere, maybe an Intel with it flying around, like those two names. You're gonna have them up on the back burner, especially as we get closer to 350. I think you could see, maybe not fireworks, but a few million on the bid. So I'm gonna try to get a reload if I can on this APLD and work the short down into 40.5. That's gonna be the target area, at least for myself. And just try to hunt for some other trade ideas. Like these small cappers are pretty dead now, except for CCTG, which is just halting back and forth.
Less than 1 minute.
Honestly, this stock is the perfect example of why the Halt rules are broken in some ways. It's like he's done 70 million shares in volume. There just has to be a better way for some of these stocks. And then the other one is still not open, MTEN.
Yeah, it might not.
It's weird. Like if the news is the offering and the news is out, I really couldn't tell you what's holding this one up, but it is. So if you're waiting for it, they haven't even listed a resumption time on the website. So it's not like you have any clue when this could open. Come on, pop. Just looking for a pop and a bit of a refill, about 10 cents higher from here on APLD, and then we'll continue to work this one back into the downside.
Nice. Okay, so good there on the short. There's our fill right there, spin it. So that's 30 cents right there on Amazon. Like I said, I don't want to just be sitting here taking outs like all over the place, but it's been working and that's been the strategy for me. So, you know, we will continue to sort of try to milk that for now. And then obviously trying to understand that we need to get a little bit more of a push if we're going to make a bigger move right now on Amazon. So here it comes back in. So far so good, man. I mean, this was a short, like I talked about this short a half hour ago or more. You know, if we were able to break it, this is what we wanted to do. So here comes Amazon, here comes Amazon. Give me that, give me that. Give me that nut. Down to 236, 244.36 is where we're bidding right now. Almost got into that. We just need one little flush and we'll get a nice little short happening here on AMZN, now 35 plus cents in the money. It just misses us. Okay, fine, but this is what I mean. This is why you gotta have your bids out there, completely fine with it. We're sort of stuck in the middle here with the RSI on a 5-minute chart, so there's really not much going on right there as far as like a push one way or the other. So we are going to need Amazon to get, did we just get it? Psst. There it is, man. There it is again. Good fills, man. We got one at 30. Oh, we had 2 down there? Oh, no, do we only have 1 down there? Okay, good, we only had 1, my bad. Okay, so there's a good fill there on it. I thought we got double filled down there. Well, we did get double filled, so what am I even looking at? So, oh, we got a 33 and a 36, so my bad, I got too carried away there. Did not mean to have 2 fills, but there it is right there, man. There's 50 cents for 50 cents or so worth of risk, downside going for Amazon. So, yeah, man, the net is climbing higher as the market goes lower, and we still have this Google trade, but we are very, very small into it, so maybe a offer, let's just offer it out right now. If we, there we go, we're at there. We just hit that at 58.60s. So now we're out of our Google and we'll wait to see what happens now to Amazon as that name starting to run a little light now to the downside. I'll bid again here at 37s. We'll sit there, we take that fill, and now we'll wait to see where that downside play is coming from. Glad we talked about it. Glad we're here live with you guys every single afternoon. It's Neil and I. It's right now though, always glad to have Sia. She's doing money talk, so let's go find out what's going on with that US dollar. Hopefully it's going up, which will create Amazon to go down.
And it's the whole down.
It has definitely bounced back from its lows, but I would say that it's down on the day at the moment. We saw earlier in the day news regarding the dollar easing on the Israel-Iran truce. But also the sterling has risen against the dollar, reaching the 2-week high, as we spoke earlier in the show, versus the euro because investors are leaning back a bit into risk as hopes are improving for everyone's looking, their eyes are on the Middle East peace deal. And now the yen also weak. Reuters saying that the persistent softness plus a hawkish Fed backdrop is increasing the pressure on the Bank of Japan to speed up interest rate hikes. And that's the snapshot of your Money Talks.
So, well, the offering was at 2, and it's at 2 now for MTN. It opened up, it looks like, we'll call it 270, yeah, about 270, halted down now at 207, and the theoretical auction price is exactly $2. So back open after about an hour-long halt. The story here is they did announce an offering. You've got to be so careful. Forget about, I know some people are saying, yeah, this one and the IHRC, is that right?
INHD?
INHD, whatever. Yeah, INHD, the one that was halted. They're both like these Chinese companies, small floats, and they can be very risky. But the offering is the traditional way in which you usually get rugged on some of these names. So good luck if you happen to be in it. Oddly enough, if you'd paid for locates, it did look pretty juicy on the open there, but you would have had to pay for locates to try to get it to take advantage of that one. And as fast as these go up, believe me, they actually head to the downside much more swift. There's a bit of a shelf here on APLD at the quarter mark, 41 quarter. So instead of just waiting for this reload, if it breaks down, I might just take another leg here on this lower quartile before we get to the 40.5. It hasn't happened yet. We're still holding the consolidation. And as long as we do that, I want to try to capture the offer if we can. It looks like we're still heading down. There's nothing about this afternoon going into the imbalances that suggests we're really catching a bid anywhere. Futures under VWAP and holding lower and just looking for another leg. So if that other leg happens on APLD, yeah, this looks like an add if we break through the 41 quarter. Otherwise, we're going to wait for that little bit of a pop for sure. And yes, I say pay for locates oftentimes, and it's a good clarification. Thank you, Wise here. That just means pay to locate does not equal free to short the stock. Pay to locate means we have to pay for the ability to short.
Yeah.
Typically at real trading, it's somewhere around like 99 points, I don't know, like 2 or 5% of stocks are easy to borrow, and then some we have to pay for. If it's a small capper or some stock that comes out of nowhere with a low float, we probably have to pay a fraction of a cent for the locates, but we do have to pay for them on rare circumstances. On an IPO, you always have to pay for locates on an IPO, usually anywhere from 3 to 6 cents a share. On SpaceX, I don't plan on going short, but I always pay for the locate just in case, because I'd hate for there to be a short setup and then I didn't pay for it. I paid for Cerebrus and didn't use them until, actually I didn't use them at all on the first day. And then I paid for them the second day, third day after the fact. But I'm gonna be paying for SpaceX shares to go short, whether I use them or not. You'd never know.
That's gonna be a fun day. SpaceX Day Friday. Join us on Friday.
Oh,
Thanks for the pizza, by the way,
fun.
Adam James Abroad. We got some pizza over there.
Yeah, pepperoni's delicious.
Yeah, the pepperoni was good. I only had the Hawaiian, very tasty, but I thought the cheese was pretty good there as well. And then, yeah, just again, here comes Amazon, here comes Amazon. So there it is, man, now 75 cents in the money to the downside. I am bidding, there it is, we're bidding 03s and boom, right there. Like we get VWAP to the 200 period. Honestly, it is a tap on the, you know, like sort of tap, but you know, that was a good trade and just set up. I liked it. We were able to get even a better fill when it popped into VWAP right there. So we talked about it, 3/4 of a unit. And again, you know, you can ask us to talk like that. We you know, if you want to know how much risk we have on a position or anything, we won't disclose the share size because we all trade different share sizes. But we each have ideas of what our units are. So you can definitely ask us about that, how much we, you know, looking forward to this trade or what we think about it or what the trade opportunity warrants, things like that. Because like on IPO is going to warrant a little bit more units than, you know, a trade like this would. So it's a little different of a strategy there. But yeah, for this trade, was a good one. We only put on, like I said, 3/4 of one, which is pretty good. Sometimes we'll put on 2 or 3 in the open and something that if we're really getting into something, maybe 4 or 5 units. But that was a decent one for Amazon into what is, man, the power hour, right? We never know what actionable trades will be here. And so far here today, that's the only one that I put on. We did exit out of our Google. Whether or not, you know, that was too early or not, doesn't look like it. There's an out right there on that break. There's an out on VWAP. So although you might not think it looks very structured because it's not, most of the outs are all planned. So Google, with my #1 stock of the day, is going to be Google. And we don't, quite frankly, we don't have enough shares to make Amazon the #1 stock of the day unless this thing drops like $3 right now. So we'll wait to see what happens with Amazon. And I believe on that call, thank you so much to everybody in the chat. We did this yesterday. We had over 1,000 likes for the show. Let's see if we can get that again. So I'm just going to refresh. We have more than 32 likes, I hope, and more than 700 people watching. So if we just hit a refresh on this one, and we never ask. So get in there right now, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and it's pretty light, man, 400. Let's see if we can get up to 600. There goes Amazon right now. Now it's approaching where we like it. If you like this Amazon trade, if you're green or if you're red today, hit that like button right there, man. 5,300 of you watching. We would really appreciate some of the love on YouTube. So let me know, and we'll double check that when we get back from the desk, I believe.
I think another reason to like and subscribe to our show is we always have different content, different perspectives, and different things that we're covering. And with that in mind, very excited now for the second day in a row to have one here to talk with us about the Asian markets and what to expect.
Thank you so much, Adira. So, Asian markets, here's a little bit of a recap from what happened overnight. Basically, rebounding after Monday's tech-led sell-off. They're calling it the Black Monday circuit breakers that happened overnight in Asia. Now, Asian markets right now, pretty much nearly recovering. We have the Kospi in South Korea up at least 8.18%, Taiwan up by 2.8%, and also Nikkei 225 in Japan up by 2.2%, all in the green. Some of the big tech names such as SK Hynix, Tokyo Electron, TSMC, they all were in the green overnight. Now, another reason why that happened also is because of the tactical pause in geopolitical attacks. I know today it's a little bit different, but overnight, last night, there was a diplomatic pause between Israel and Iran, cooling oil prices, and that prompted Asian manufacturing, of course, to reinvest in risk assets. But as we proceed or as we head over to the open later on this evening, what are we to expect in terms of Asian markets opening up? One thing is the Kospi durability. The V Kospi, which is Korea's fear gauge, that was at an all-time high last night at about 91.23. And that high option pricing for swings suggests that there's going to be potential volatility at the open. So we've got to keep an eye out on that. And also keep an eye out on Taiwan and Nikkei, Japan, of course, because those stocks are tech-led. So any rebound from tech-led, definitely something to put a sticky note on. And finally, China trade momentum. This is also quite big news. we got to track exactly how the industry, especially shipping, will react to the $114 billion trade surplus that happened overnight. So these high exports may trigger some fresh tariff concerns coming from Trump.
Thank you once again here to Juan. Again, guys, this is our Asia Market Minute. We'll have to wait and see how these evolving geopolitical headlines and news about China trying to expand their data centers impacts the markets tonight.
Thank you, Adara. And MTEN is trying to hold the $2 level. It said, look, the offering's at $2. I'm taking a couple of swings at this one. Every time it's broken the $2 level, just giving it a relatively like mid-90s stop. The highest it got to was about 220, 225 or so. But given the way that it's traded, I want to go tight stop and then look for a halt up. Like, it's kind of the plan of action. Though remember, it's 330 already. If it halts at 345, then you have to respect the fact that, yeah, if you halt at that time frame, like the reason you won't want to hold it too long is it doesn't open back up until 4 o'clock. And I don't want to get caught one of those. So every single chance that it holds at 2, I'm just punching long tight stop, looking for about like 30s, 40s, 50s, and then maybe a halt into the upside that gets you to the 3 level. Just like when these get down there and take a shot at it. But if you had paid for locates, I think you could have really been short this at 250. But maybe one more try at that $2 level, because there are some buyers down here, and we'll see if we can grab it. There's some definite buyers on MTEN. The downside, probably better for most of the afternoon, but I just feel like the risk to reward on this, if you get it one time, it could be at 250 in an absolute heartbeat, and that's where the juice seems to be.
All right, I am getting a little nervous there because one in the background there just coming for my job. Great job there, one. So we want to say shout out to that. But the question I have for you, one, is can you enter the Dollar Club? Because there it is right there on Amazon. He's a well-dressed man. He could definitely come to the Dollar Club. There's Amazon. Nice move down in again, and we're just trying to take some profit there on that. And of course, we've teased it a little bit. So that's one doing a great job getting some screen time in. We want to thank Adara for the training and everything that he's been doing on the side. And we did mention that Trader TV Live is expanding globally. So we're going to be opening up an office there in Kuala Lumpur very, very soon. And that one will be coming live to you. Hopefully we'll be able to broadcast roughly 24 hours a day. So, you know, keep that coming. We want to say thank you so much
close to it as possible.
To One for all of his hard work as he prepares to take us into orbit with this show. And so, and then at that point, we'll be debuting a Trader TV Live coin, which of course we won't be, but I still think that would be a good idea. All right.
The token?
Yeah, tokenization over there. You know, yeah, we'll do that. We'll give Adara all of the tokens.
coin.
She'll just hold it. We will not rug anybody, and we'll just
TTV
wait
coin.
for all of that to go through. But yeah, we're not going to be doing that.
No rug pulls, just lots of infographics.
Right, yeah, a lot of info. Yeah, it's going to cost you a couple coins for every infographic she puts out. No. So there it is right there.
Free.
Nice move down into the 200. We said that we would try to hold on a little bit, so we've done that. We still got about 35% or so of this trade as it makes new lows into that play. So yeah, no, just really, you know, sort of happy with the way this one turned out with only 15 minutes left until those imbalances. It's now starting to become more and more apparent that we should be getting out of this almost ASAP. So we're going to be doing that and getting ready to rock and roll here into the close with everybody.
Absolutely, and with only about 15 minutes to go, I'll quickly throw them up for you. I'm just eyeballing MTEN. Yeah. You've got 1.2 sell on NU, but probably don't care there. Nokia's got a 1.2 on it. That could at least get a little bit interesting with Nokia. That's been a high flyer recently. NVIDIA tie-up. They're going to be down 5% because, let's be real, everything AI related is down. And if you hitch your wagon to NVIDIA on the way up, then this is what's going to happen to you.
Joe, you're not going to rug pull. Joe says he's rug pulling everybody on that coin.
Joe's not
going to. That's it. You're not
anybody.
getting any coins, Joe.
Then you don't get any.
For the rug.
No coins for you, Joe.
Yeah, no, we're having a good time here. I don't think we don't need to be raising any capital or anything like that. For that, we do want to thank everybody for all the super chats that
and if you see it, it's fake.
And look at the backboard right there, right?
That's what we're talking about.
Yo, what's up, Joe? That's Joe. What's up, Joe? But yeah, there it is, man. These are all the notes here. We want to thank everybody for watching us on TikTok. We want to thank everybody for watching us live here on YouTube. And, you know, just continue to support the show. Wherever you are, hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, hit that little heart or whatever it is at the bottom as many times as possible. And we were at 366. So right now, did you guys even hit the like button? Let me scroll down and see 600 right now, almost a double up right there. Thank you so much to everybody for doing that. It would be nice to get into a G note one more time. And so if you guys do hit the like button, let YouTube know you found us, and let your algorithm know that you want to know every time we are live once again. And, you know, we've gone over some halting names there. We talked about a whole bunch of different names. We talked about some of the longer term plays that we've been making today in this kind of a market environment, and how that's been working out for us so far, including IBM and IREN. We've been having a little look there. We've talked a little bit about scalping versus, you know, traditional sort of trading, maybe swing trading, and kind of what we're doing here. We talked about what we're going to be doing on the IPO, so come here on Friday, and hopefully I'm still here at this time. That will be Friday at 3:30. We'll be here. That should be a lot of fun.
The back's gonna hurt on Friday.
Back's gonna carrying the bags?
No, from sitting down at the desk the whole day.
I'm hoping we're not holding the bag. That's the whole thing. That's what we're worried about. Yeah.
You know what though?
It will suck to be here all day. But you know what I was also thinking?
I'm willing to bet this. If the long lose left the open, the bag holders will be even nastier for those that don't try to get in and get out quickly.
Oh, wow. I'm just worried. We talked about this yesterday. What about the spread? Like, I don't know, probably on Cerebras, it was probably quite huge, right?
Where's the puke button?
I don't really have one. I have a flushing down button. But basically, it's just that if it comes at $300 and you have allocations at 135, and you have, you know, 30 grand worth, or that example that I gave, 25, whatever you have worth of it, you know, are you not hitting the sell button right there almost immediately, taking your 50 grand profit? Like if you, and I don't know, you guys let me know. For anybody that got allocation here, you know, I'm going through iTrade. They don't have any access to any shares. I've already tried. So you guys let me know, anybody in the chat got any shares? And if so, like, am I just throwing out crazy numbers when I'm saying 50 grand worth? Like, what kind are they actually giving out up there? Because to me, if I put in a bid, let's just say, I would put it in for a couple $100,000. Like, honestly, if I was able to do that, and the reason why I talk like that is because I honestly do think that if you're getting locations at 135, I would, and the reason why I say that is I would just do like what Joe said there. I would just get that print and boom, punch out almost immediately. Like if we're tapping up here 3 bills and I'm already long like a boat at 135, yeah, man, I'm hitting the sell key. So that's the scary part about what does that bid and offer look like? Because if it does get that high, do you have traders that are gonna go in there and sell it? And if not, are there then traders at that level going to send in market orders to help push our longs off that opening print? So, you know, it's a trade. Well, by the way, Amazon is all the way to the downside. So that's going to be a good looking trade right now for Amazon. But that's part of my concern there for SpaceX is, you know, what are we doing? What are we talking about? What do those level 2s look like? And where's the liquidity? Because, you know, even if you take 2,000 shares and the spread opens up to $20 and you're punching out, like, you might get $30, and 2,000 shares times $30 is 60 grand. All right, so you're saying the company is worth more than 1.75 trillion? Worth more?
See, this is the thing. It doesn't have to be worth that to trade. It's going to trade at that.
It's going to trade way
Remember,
more.
the stocks only trade, it's just the 2 trillion, 3 trillion, 1.75. Someone just has to buy shares at that price for it to be quote unquote worth that much. All it has to do is open there. And then 5 minutes of buying, and then people get to say this is what the company's worth. I don't personally think it's necessarily, 1.75 just represents a 135. If it does what Cerebras did, it's an over $3 trillion market cap. I don't necessarily think it's worth that much. It's not stopping me from hitting the bid. I'll say one thing about the slippage, because if you traded Cerebras, you know, it opened at 350. When it lost 350, to say that there was not a bid is like hilarious. I consider, like, you could $5 to $7, perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
Perfectly reasonable. So if you think that you're going long in front of an even dollar and risking 50 cents on SpaceX, I wouldn't bother. Like, to me, if it opens at $300, I'm mentally preparing myself to lose $10. That's just it. That's my 2 cents.
That's a lot.
$10. No, but that's a worst case scenario.
Yeah, I mean, that's the punch out.
Cerebras was 7, and I felt like that was pretty nasty. I think SpaceX might have a little better liquidity.
I think you've already given a good example of the fact that it's just game time. Once it hits, it hits. It comes into your blotter, and it's either a shotgun to the head or not. I mean, that's basically what it is. There's almost no decision to be made. It's either going to give you it or it's not, and that is the trade there. And we just hope that it's the other way around, and it gives you a great opportunity to get involved. And, you know, join us again live right here, as we will be all over that. So I promise you that we're going to be all over that on Friday. So join us. We want to thank Adam James Abroad for today's gift of pizza. We talked about that earlier as well. Thank you so much for that.
What sparked that, by the way?
I don't know. I think yesterday there was some talk of pizza, because I remember I mentioned earlier this morning, Adam was in the chat talking about it, and he's like, oh yeah, today's going to be pizza day. And I was like, what? So I think those must have been, was that from your show there, Joe? I think you guys must have been talking about. Oh, he hit INHD yesterday, apparently. So congratulations on that one.
That was the crazy one you guys were talking.
Yeah, that's the pizza. That's the pizza day. Trade.
INHD.
That's the one that's not opening back up forever.
Well, what if it never? That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's, we've seen it before. Like, I'm not saying it's never going to open up again. I'm just simply saying I've seen stocks like that never open up.
Yeah, exactly.
INHD, like to me, like they're all just trades. Like some of them have been outright scams. Like, by the way, MTEN just finally made another, but so it held one bottom before, it took a shot at it. It did again here with a bit of a rounded bottom. There's only 5 minutes until the imbalances, so I'm gonna try to offer some out in front of 2. And if it ends up going into like the 230, 240 range, 250 range, even better. But let's be real, those things can, yeah, like they can get really nasty for you. We've seen them, I've seen small market Chinese stocks go from just sitting there holding a bid to absolutely like rugging it. This is a bad example because it actually was pretty orderly on the way back in, where it'll be doing nothing going sideways, and then one day you just drop 50 to 60%. And it happens out of nowhere. So you really do have to be careful with them. And if you happen to be stuck in this, there's not much you can do. Information request from the Nasdaq is, well, I mean, arguably that's like the worst reason you can hold. It is. It's like the death keel, because the stock might not ever open up again. And then you just, that's it.
I mean, it did open up, INHD did open up yesterday after hours, so there was an opportunity to get out.
So there you go. You take those chances to get out.
Exactly. So that was a good one there for anybody that was here watching that with us. Congratulations on some INHD trading. It turned out to be a good one there yesterday. So, all right, guys, you know, 345 right now. We've talked a lot about the different positions. I think the only one Neil had, I don't know if it was IBID, APLD, I had Amazon here this afternoon, and we talked about some of these halting names. AZI actually just halted again right now, reopened, sorry, at 340. There was a halt there. Now it's made a move down. It did halt around 250 there, opens back up at $2. This has been quite the day for AZI. I mean, it started off, here, maybe I just zoom this back out a little bit here. Started off the day at $1.30. Nice move higher into $11. And then there's the drop off here into now back to $1.50. So, I mean, this is, to me, just one of those crazy, like there's $1 all the way up to 12, all the way back into $1 again. So yeah, you want to talk about a roller coaster of a day. There it is right there on AZI. All right, another super chat. We like that one. Would love, oh, here we go.
Let's do it done tomorrow.
Yeah, done, yeah, perfect, yeah.
That's, you know what? It actually makes it so much easier. Like today, like I always, whenever I'm doing the lesson of the day, I'm just gonna get out of this one flat. So here, I'll zoom in very quickly, because MTEN, at the same 175 that was getting held, which is where we're in, it basically went up to like 195 and then back into flat. So it couldn't break out the 2, so we'll hop out of it. But the lesson of the day today was just, it's like whatever comes up, right? Like, I was just sort of discussing the whole notion of, yeah, well, you can have like direction right and entry half right, but sometimes it's just like it'd be like that. Like I'm short BM&R, and like every single time I'm getting in, well, with the exception of the afternoon. Like at least I can say at the afternoon I got in, that's like a legitimate loss. But the other ones, it's like, come on. But you just have to be able to live with it. You ask yourself this question. Like, do you get worked up over a loss if you were doing something which is a positive expectancy? Like, if you trade and that over course of time makes you money, and then one day it just doesn't work, and maybe your timing is a little bit off for whatever reason, you don't throw it out. You just recognize the analogy I use. It's like you just hit the ball on the screws and went right to the shortstop or the center fielder. Can't do anything about that. You hit a scorcher, that's just part of the game. But when it comes to liquidity, I think that's a fantastic lesson. We'll do that tomorrow. I'll write it down on my iPad and make sure we get to that, because I think that's one thing that traders tend to miss. The reason why an IPO is crazy, the reason why CCTG is maybe a special event, like the reason why everybody is going to look at Marvell and Blue Ocean 2 nights ago, right? Like Marvell, Blue Ocean 2 nights ago. It's an extra liquidity event. Like Marvell gets added to the S&P, well, Marvell gets announced it'll be added to the S&P 500, and what happens? It doubles in the first hour of any other Blue Ocean session at the open. Like double the volume. That's all. That's the reason traders are on it, because there's just extra liquidity at the end of the day. Does it mean in those moments, like Marvell traded up to $300, 270 to 300? Was it really worth more or less? That gets determined over the long term, not in the 5 minutes that you're trading it, but for a trader, you only care about those 5 minutes. That's all that ends up mattering to you. But we'll get more in depth about that, because it's a big one for the IPOs. And forget about SpaceX, we're gonna be doing this again with OpenAI and Anthropic. So you gotta get used to it.
Yeah, we can, there's AZI, by the way, moving lower. I'm still looking at that one. And, you know, we could talk about these names, but for me, man, it's just, we can review our trades, whatever. I know Joe does a little bit of a trade review too, but I only have Apple there today. This is that trade right there for Apple. It was a short, you know, just kind of felt that that was what the market was doing early, and was able to hit Apple. I mean, obviously it was a day 2 play against what we had yesterday. Amazon, we just took that trade on right now. It's $1.80 in the money. Hope that made a lot of sense. Alibaba, we kind of like that name off of 120, but obviously in a day like today, that does not hold. So there goes Alibaba to the downside. And then Google is my #1 stock. I mean, we were actually flat to red on it after this, and then boom, that happened. And then Tesla we're red on as well. So, you know, we're gonna go here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 symbols, basically 4 and 1, with Tesla being the problem child, and yeah, downside. I'm gonna say 3 and 1 and 1, because Alibaba was a gimme, gimme, never gets. Don't you know your manners yet? And we didn't get it. So there it goes to the downside. Winner, winner, chicken dinner right there. So a little bit of a move there for Alibaba. So that's my day in a nutshell. 5 symbols, pretty all major names, but I was maybe looking at something like a Rivian coming into play at some point. Yeah, there's NVIDIA. So NVIDIA with 3 schmil to the buy side, so we like that one. We can get out of some Amazon because it is trying to dance a little bit here with these moves higher. There's NVIDIA, there's Apple with a buy. Looks like it's gonna be quite a big buy side imbalance, I would say. Right now, Apple back up to 290, so that's gonna be a good look there. Riot, there's APLD with a mill sell. Intel with a little bit of a buy side. So there's just a little bit of action on here. Ford, which we recently sold to raise some capital. We bought some IREN today. Ford with a little bit of a bump bid. They're breaking out through VWAP. So they've had a nice day on the recovery. That got as low as 1450, back up now through 15 is where we'll look to close now for Ford. So that's what those look like. And there it is right there. Okay. So sometimes we're here and it's like 100 million shares to buy. That's 3 Bs right there, 3.6 billion to buy, with the Mag 7 being nothing. It's the overall indexes right now, the Dow, the Nasdaq, that have the big buys under them.
Unless you're ASTS, everything is to the buy side. Palantir, 700,000. Sorry, MSTR is actually a sell of 700,000 as well. But ASTS kind of stands out here, 1.8 million to the sell side. It's about, let's call it 9% of the day's volume, which is pretty significant. So 9% of the day's volume, if this one wants to flip, gonna look for 354 on ASTS. It's already at the lows, so I'm really not that interested in trying to catch this one short. But if it can hold this 88, like 88-ish range at about 354, I just look for the pair event and try to get a quick reversal on ASTS. Remember, they actually, there was a downgrade on it, but they actually announced their launch. Their
date or something.
Yeah, they announced like 3 different rockets launching on the 27th, I believe, or like so it was up significantly, but I'm just gonna look for a bit of a flip trade on this bad boy. So you gotta watch out for this. It's about 355 when you get a pairing event. So I think in the last 30 seconds leading into it, that would make a little bit of sense. NVIDIA's already paired half the imbalance off. It was 3, now it's 1.6. So that seems like it'll be a little bit of a nothing burger. I wanted to see bigger numbers than that. I actually thought Intel might be bigger than the 1 million it was. It's not even on here anymore. I thought the chips could just do a little bit more, for sure. Hangry Wife thinks ASTS is a buying opportunity. We got this question in the chat about, is it worth buying space stocks going into the SpaceX IPO? I mean, it was, but like that ship sort of sailed a couple of weeks ago. I would tend to think that I would want the aftermath. It's like personal. Like I don't own Rocket Lab, so I'm not going to say anything. Like my brother asked me what he was going to do about his positions, and I was like, I don't know. If I was you, because he owns Citus. I think he still does. Citus and Rocket Labs, but mostly Rocket Labs. And he asked me what to do. I'm like, well, personally, if I was in the money, I'd want to trim. And he was like, but I can buy SpaceX. I'm like, well, I would nibble in first, because that's my plan of action. 20% down, 20% in. That's my plan on SpaceX. I don't want anything at the open. I wouldn't want these ones at the open either. I just think too much money is going to be coming out. And then some money that goes into SpaceX probably even comes from these as well. So ASTS, not a bad looking stock overall, but we'll wait about a minute or so. These stocks are flipping earlier. That's annoying. It's 353 and it's already doing the flip trade.
Yeah, I know. I'm. It's
yeah, that's
245.
Yeah,
I still have a stop there on Amazon.
It's already moved.
I'm going to just change this now. I have less than 10% left, way less now. 245.01. We'll put a stop in on Amazon and get stopped out if and when that winds up coming in. It's more like a when, not an if. There goes Amazon upside on buy imbalances. So we don't even have like. We covered, man. Like when it came back into here, we actually covered a lot right at the 200 period moving average. Sometimes you get a little bit more than you thought of a move, and that was, you know, like we were saying, when it was $1 in the money there, we were sort of celebrating it. So good trade there on Amazon to end the day. And thanks to everybody for being here. You know, we couldn't do this show without absolutely all of you. So, you know, thank you for hitting that like when we so kindly asked. And we now have 750 likes. So thank you for doing that one. Google, Apple, I don't know if there's any sort of names you guys want us to look at here end of the close. Tesla, 400. Looks like that's going to be a number to take in consideration every once in a while. Tesla, $4 bills. So we'll have a quick look at that one as well. Coming up here tomorrow, could be a good little level.
It was a hiccup.
Oh, hiccups. Okay.
Yeah.
God, I thought there was something going on back there. All right. No, that's good. I'm glad it was a hiccup.
Yeah,
I thought you were like choking on something back there, Adara. So
she's fine.
Yeah. When is your last day? Tomorrow? Okay, tomorrow. Daryl Beal says tomorrow, out Thursday, Friday, and we'll be here, though, all day, so make sure you do join us for that SpaceX IPO. I think it'll be probably on the midday show. I mean, it's generally been between 1 to 2 o'clock or so has been the opening of those
1:37 is my...
Is that what your prediction is?
It's
remember what it was for the other one?
Around around 1:30? Cerberus was around 1:30, I want to say. It was earlier than 1:30. It felt late. I don't know. The point with the IPOs is the bigger they are, the longer they hold it. They just want as many shares as possible to get paired off. So they just sit around and wait their jolly good time for everyone to have their fun, which I think is completely ridiculous. But that's just the market. They could do whatever they want. If they wanted to, they could say, hey, make sure you get your orders in before noon because we're opening this sucker up between 12 and 12:30. If they really wanted to do that, they could.
That would be nice.
Yeah, my suspicion is that they're just not going to. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of these 3 IPOs will be the first one that we actually show you on the afternoon show. Whether it's this or Anthropic or OpenAI, it's only a matter of time before, like, some stock IPOs and trades for an hour and a half. Which is stupid.
I went back and checked, so it looks like, and I'm just checking the 15-minute chart here, but it came out on, when I checked the 30-minute chart, between 1 and 1:30. I checked the 15, it actually came out during that 1 p.m. 15-minute candle, so between 1 and 1:15 for CBRS.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're sort of thinking about that there with Cerberus. So, and I just...
It lasted 5 seconds.
I hope it doesn't. I really hope that it's more... Like, look, I'm going to be going long, obviously, but I just hope it's more orderly. That's all that I can really hope for, right? Because I have no idea. I just hope it's not like flash, 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 back and forth, because that's when you get wicked out and then all the opportunities go by the wayside real quick. So I'm just hoping for nothing like that. Quantinuum is continuing to the downside right now as, I mean, not a great day, not a great time for them to IPO. I mean, we've seen, I mean, you can't control that, the market. I mean, you can hold it back, you know, for sure, which I thought Anthropic, OpenAI was going to do and wait for Anthropic. It looks like OpenAI will be the third one to come through. But these guys, you know, it's been a pretty volatile day, needless to say, right there. So there it goes, man. Nice downside play there for QNT. And then CBRS, we just talked about it. This is another one of those names where I think the technology makes a lot of sense, but does the pricing, you know, it came out pretty hot and it's only been downside, right? Their actual price that was quoted to begin trading was 185. So they are falling back in sort of to those kind of levels right now. I mean, we touched 2 bills. I mean, it should be up. This is a stock that, you know, a lot of people were interested in. There was a lot of, you know, early excitement on this name, and they've been hoping that it would come public for a while, and it finally does, and this is what the reaction has been. If this is what it's like for SpaceX, I think there will be a lot of traders holding the bag, but not you guys, right? You guys have already, we've talked about what the plan of action is on that, so hopefully we're all, you know, waiting for it, and if you are getting in early, maybe save some in case something like this happens, but this is just advice that we're giving about our own experiences. Like and this is why I told that coach that messaged me, it was kind of like, I have no idea what's gonna happen other than what's happened in the past and what my personal opinion is on it, and that is just to give it a little bit of a breath. If you wanna buy $100 worth, man, buy 20 or 30 bucks off the open on the very first day if you think it's a decent value, then buy your other 70%, you know, down the line when key metrics are hit or when they release more information or whatever the story is. But with only a minute left, that should be really fun. I mean, all these answers get solved on Monday, on Friday. Like, because if it comes all open at 150, that's gonna be like a push level in my opinion. Like, that's not high enough. Like, that's basically $2 trillion.
Well, all I'll say is this. If it sees the issue price at any point in the first 2 weeks, that's also gonna be a thing. I don't, like, if it sees 135 at some point, they're not gonna want pie in their face. I think that's like the Facebook scenario. That's a get on the bid in front of it.
Yeah.
If I
that's
see
why I buy 150.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you see support close to 135, I'm just gonna make the assumption the underwriters don't want the pie in their face and they're defending it. I don't think we'll see that price, but if you do, that's another reason to maybe take a big shot. Because I think there's two reasons. There's either it holds the issue price if it's depressed, or if it's just a pure exuberance in the first little bit. But with only about 10 seconds to go in here, the Nasdaq is going to successfully have held at 50 period on the daily. And this is brought to you by VinFast, VFS. You can find them by scanning that QR code. I want to thank them for sponsoring the closing bell in here. But it is very, very clean. That's a bottoming tail candle. We're down 1%, but that's the Qs bouncing off the 50 SMA. Right in, catching the bid, whether it's this, whether it's the SPY. The dip buyers might not have finished the job, but they certainly started it pretty well here. Both of these catching a big pullback. Almost green for the SPY today. 0.3%, considering where we started, that's not so bad. You'll take that. You'll take 0.3 down on the SPY, given how the day has gone. But it does go to show it is the tech wreck, because most of the weakness was in the Nasdaq, the chips, high valuation, no money, companies that don't make much money. It's a speculative market that got hit today.
Down here on CrowdStrike, Joe's gone, but good thing because he didn't want to see this. That touched 620 today. So you want to talk about a name, you know, that's really been taken out, and it did actually. I'm going to go up here to 800 because that is a true price. I was sitting right here when that happened. When that hit down to 620, oh no. I don't think we have.
Would have been better than 10.
I don't think we have. Oh no, I can't see what that is. But anyways, 800 down to 620. You know, let's cut in half, about 20% there on the downside. So a little bit of a nasty move there. And I think CrowdStrike, we don't talk about it enough, but that's probably a decent dip buy opportunity as well. As I don't think the cyber game is going anywhere anytime soon. So all right, man, it's 4:01. I don't know, I'm gonna keep on checking I haven't actually checked the weather, but we have a practice night at 6. It's supposed to get a little rainy out here. We'll see what winds up happening.
Yeah.
It's not a practice on our home field because it's being used, so it's on a field that has gravel and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, I don't really like that, but.
I think you might be.
Maybe we're gonna be okay. I hope we're not, because
it's pretty light rain. Because
Yeah.
it also said it was supposed to rain on my walk, and I felt a few
still gonna
drops.
cancel it.
It's less than a it's like less than a centimeter of rain, like
What a victorious day for the Nasdaq, honestly, man.
I like the comeback.
Only down 1%.
That's not
when
bad.
I sat down here at 12:30, it was down almost 4%. So what a rebound there on the Nasdaq from 2,800 back up there, 1,000 Nasdaq points. Wow, absolutely unbelievable there on the NQ minis. So that was quite the move back there on the Nasdaq. And you know, I don't know what that bodes well for tomorrow or not. I think it'll be a continuation sell. I think we sell all the way to Monday, Tuesday of next week, and then we figure out what the proper pricing is there on SpaceX, and people get excited about the next one. We got to stop talking about it. Trump obviously dropped some bombs today, as well as Iran, Israel. That sort of sped up. There we go.
And more headlines.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Trump said this is all done in a week, right? And then there was that bombing that happened, and then they shot down the plane or the helicopter. Coming a week. Oh, there it is. So week, months, or months. I know it's JD. I mean, poor JD, man. Iran definitely will come before midterm. Definitely. Yeah. One word a politician should never say.
Never. Well, you know what's definitely happening tomorrow? We will be back at 8 o'clock, bright and early, and we'll cover CPI because, well...
Oh my God, there's CPI
yeah,
too?
that could be a problem as well. Just when you thought everything was going to be fine. CPI. So, buckle up, everybody. We're TraderTV Live, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, bright and early. It's a good one. We'll be here, talk more SpaceX, talk more markets, more Iran, more inflation, more growth stocks.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hopefully you get that practice in. Enjoy the good weather while it lasts.